Hey, I'm supposed to be joined by a couple of people soon. Oh, hey, Steve. There he goes. Where'd you go, Steve? All right. Steve came in and gone out. Hey, you back? Okay. Yeah, I just went live because I was sick of waiting. Apparently I have one viewer. So, yeah. Do you have the link to the page at all? Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Just waiting for Alex. I don't know where he is. So, mm, I'm glad I run through with this test too because nothing is how it used to be. Like I tried sending invites and it just won't work now. Like I went in before to check everything out and it was working fine. Now it won't come up with anything or anything. It won't let me find people. It's just stupid. And there used to be a link at the top here where you could just find the link to the video so you could check everything out. Oh yeah. I found the Q&A thing fine though. Yeah. So, yeah. It's weird. It's not how I thought it would be sharing it either. So, yeah. Yeah. Hang on. Let me switch. Do something. So, where is it? There it is. Cameraman. As I guess the audio from the van. Whatever. Uh, Weird. Uh, well, no, where'd the Q&A thing go? There it is. So if a one viewer is still there and feels like asking some questions, go ahead. Just waiting for it for the superhero enthusiast to show up wherever he is. Oh, by the way, if one viewer at all cares, me and Steve here are recording a series on all the Joss Whedon shows. We've done the first two seasons so far. So if you haven't subscribed to Steve here, go ahead. Um, Subscribe to him, and they should be up sometime soon. Yeah. I just finished season three, so whenever you're ready. And then I was gonna watch Angel uh and Buffy back to then season four of Buffy back to back. Angel season one. Yeah, yeah, and I gotta get figure out where they fit in the timeline. Yeah, yeah. I remember watching Buffy and hearing about Angel, and like I saw the initial crossover, but I didn't see the subsequent ones. Yeah, and then they, yeah, it's just like season four ended, and they were hoping people would come back and watch. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, no, he's not on Skype either. He usually only talks on there when he's going to actually be recording something. Mm. Yeah. Are you going to do a video at all, advertising the show when it? Okay. Okay. Oh no, I meant for the live thing that we're doing on Tuesday. Monday. Yeah. Just to say that you like when it's going to be on and all that, just so that there are the one viewer's gone. Uh, it seems to be staying okay. I was just concerned that the thing would drop out. Uh, yeah. Just like, hey, another viewer, two viewers. Okay. Yeah. Put some questions in, guys. Click the Q&A app. And we'll answer them really quick. If they're geek related, we're gonna be doing a Comic Con thing here. On after Comic Con's done. This is just a test show. Make sure my computer doesn't crash during it. So yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I've already started getting some news for the live show. So yeah, that'll be fun. Uh, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be fun. Yeah. So. Uh, Not sure about I was going to say something else. So that's the problem. I do one thing and then it clicks off the Q&A thing. Uh, Sorry, I had no material really prepared for this. What was something else I was gonna ask you. Uh, okay. Uh, uh, there. So I'm gonna track down Alex, find out where he is. Yeah, let's stimulate the conversation. Yeah. Uh, This will be a good test too. Come on. Leave that open for a minute. You know what? I did. Season 3 wasn't too bad of Buffy. It was not as. Yeah. I just remembered. Sorry. Oh yeah. I just think that there's not like a really standout or great episode in that one. Like apart from the finale, the season finale. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I got like a little rewrite I wouldn't mind doing for a certain character throughout. Oh, oh, yeah. Anyway, dramas are plenty. Oh, yeah. Okay. Mr. Viewer, what would you like me to do now? You like the hat? I'm going to see if I can find this video now that they're going live, so I can keep an eye on a couple of things. Alright. Dixie Carter just talking about NIC. So is that what people are watching? Standing by for that? Is that why they're not attending my live show? Hit the Q&A app up and I'll answer something for you. Links. Ah, there we go. It was hiding. Okay. So you're gonna have a weird noise here in a second. Sorry about that. Come on. It's weird. I noticed I get the same links in the thing now. Okay, now you can leave the comments in the comments bar. If you can't access the Q&A for some reason, finally figure this thing out. All right. So much for being right back. Twitter isn't very helpful. Uh, yeah, there's guys supposed to be here aren't here yet, or they were here. Steve was here a little while ago, so he'll be here. There'll be another guy here as well. But yeah, if you're still there, open up the Q&A thing and we'll hash it out. So just, sorry, just really just waiting here on Alex because I want to make sure that things will work. Oh, I gotta get a thumbs down. Oh, sorry guys. This is, like, I'll probably
Hey,
not. Hey,
hey,
um, any idea what the buzzing was?
what was it?
Oh, there was a buzzing noise when you left.
Oh, I'm not sure. So, no word from Alex?
Hang on, we might have something here in a minute. I'm just back and forth here. No, nothing.
Okay. Well, as long as we know this thing works, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, because I was just gonna let him know that this was the time I was thinking of to start. You
Okay.
know, it's weird. It's not. Hang
Um, if I can get my internet back up tonight, this would be great, but I can't.
on. Oh yeah. Before you left, I was gonna say, I had this idea to rewrite certain aspects towards of graduation day to lay groundwork for Xander's character going forward. Because I think, like, I like the sort of stuff they do with him, but I had this better idea in mind. That would like add more to the Buffy mythos. And I was gonna ask if it would be alright if I add that to the show.
We can do that. Sure, what's up?
I was gonna have at the end of season 3, Xander get a letter, and you weren't gonna know what it was until a little teaser for season 4.
Right.
Um, I guess no one's watching, so it doesn't really matter. And I was gonna have it turn out that he was destined to be a Watcher.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I could see that in, I think. Especially considering the stuff he does later on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that could be cool, I think.
Yeah, like I thought it would add something, especially like we know pretty much everything that's going to happen with Buffy
Right.
and how a Slayer works, but we don't really know exactly how. Because they talk about Giles knew he was going to be a Watcher from early on, so I was just wondering if there was something like explore what it was to start out as Watcher and all that. Like you get teasers in Angel about
Yeah. Definitely.
things they go through.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying there. We can definitely talk about some of that.
Mm. Like I had it all worked out. Like he was not gonna be happy about it. He was gonna get in a fight with Giles.
Right.
Um, because I went back and I was like, they could have cut some of this stuff and they could have added that in. Um,
Right.
uh, and like you could have teased like a similar situation to how Angel leaves is how Xander would leave.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I lost you there, but the thing just went to your logo for a second. Um,
For some reason.
yeah, so that was all mine. Like, haven't fully thought out the idea yet. But, like, I was just thinking about it recently. I was like, oh, that would be a cool idea.
Yeah, it sounds like a cool idea. We can definitely talk about some of that when we get to the show this weekend.
Mm. I checked out some of the news. There's some interesting news already coming out of the show.
Sorry about that. I had to
That's
turn off.
alright. I'm just going to check my make sure see if Alex has left me a message yet or not.
Okay, cool. Oh,
Um,
oh, it's working. Hang on one second. I'm scheduling my laptop.
yeah. All right. Mr. Viewer, if you're not me, can you leave a question? Because this is not fun. Uh, it's not fun at all. Because certain somebody said he would be here by now, and he's not. Uh, oh, I got two viewers.
There we go. Is that must be much better now?
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Okay. Did you say what did you say before I had again?
I was, I can't remember, but yeah, I'm just check right now. He's not responded or anything. It's just really weird.
Yeah, I might be just busy doing something else.
That's okay. If he's not here in another 15 minutes, I'll just
I've got an iPad. That's pretty cool.
hmm.
It's like I'm Nick Fury. Now I'm like Slade.
Yeah.
But there was a sword here. If there was a sword, this would be perfect. Um, I'm Slade in the city. I'll get rid of that one. That one's funny.
Yeah, all the backgrounds really work really well, I don't think.
There you
It's the
go.
only thing.
Now I'm Slade in heaven. Now I'm Slade who graduated from high school.
Ah.
This is cool.
Mm. Ian does all that crap all the time now. Sometimes it ticks me off. Oh, hang on.
What?
Okay. All right. You think we can
What?
keep this going for another 30 minutes?
Sure, I think.
He's supposed to be here in 30 minutes. Okay.
Alright.
Um,
I'll get like a sword or something.
mm,
This is fun. Now I see why he does it. This is fun.
mm.
Um,
Oh, my spare Sonics. Yeah,
cool, nice.
these are the one that I've got put together now is over there. They give you 3 sets of things to put together, but they only give you one battery pack thing for them, so you can't have three.
Well, they have like the dot batteries too, so those are really expensive to replace.
Oh,
I'm just some Comic Con lately. Um, and there's nothing really. There's that really annoying picture of Ben Affleck as Batman, which doesn't show us anything whatsoever, but people love it.
Yeah, someone's put out a picture of the bat suit, and it just looks like the hat and cowl that.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a Captain Cape.
It looks like but it looks like the one from Kick-Ass that Big Daddy wears.
Oh, that's weird. I'm not sure if I saw that.
Well,
I
that's
did.
what no, that's what it looks like. It's what it looks like, and I was saying if I was thinking if that's the bat suit, I'm not too happy. Like I just
It's okay, I guess. It's really a Jim Lee kind of thing. Um, it's not great, but I think Affleck can pull it off, especially if you get like the non-armored suit, which I hate the armored suits.
no, okay.
Um, Something cool that I saw at Comic Con is a car charging flux capacitor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. You just plug it into the little cigarette burner from your car, and it's a flux capacitor, and it charges shit. You just plug it in. It's really cool.
All right.
Yeah, I really want something like that. Oh, there's sounds. That's cool.
There's there's sounds. Where's the
Apparently,
sound?
I just clicked on one.
Is that an
Um,
effect thing now?
I guess it is. These are cool. I hope they add more.
Yeah.
Like, I would want more props than a cake. Move cake? Cake doesn't move. Damn it.
Okay, I can't find the sounds.
We got crickets. We got cash register.
Sweet.
Oh, we got a rim shot. That could be fun. Um, let's see. We got a drum roll. That could be useful.
That.
I think they should have recorded all of Manu Bennett's scenes in the second season of Arrow with Google.
No one's at the door. There's crickets. There's.
That laugh is terrifying.
Anyway.
Um,
Yeah.
so if I just get up and like walk out of the camera, do my facial features stay?
I think they just hang around on the side. I think I can't remember. Or they disappear. I can't remember whether they disappear or not.
Oh, they do hang around on the side. And now they're back. I want to do an entire video message like this.
Yeah.
Take my glasses off and everything.
Oh yeah. Do you want to do the Angel and the Buffy recording on the same day, or do you
Um,
want to?
it depends if you finish both seasons or not. Because if we both did, then we can go ahead and record them both on the same day. That'd be great. Um, but if we could start a little bit earlier, that'd be good too.
Okay, so yeah, just so you're not up. I hate to think of you up all night.
Um, the thing with doing both Angel and Buffy on the same day is I wonder how well they're going to work separately. Because a lot of what happened with Angel and Buffy, at least until I get into some of the later seasons, is kind of interconnected. Like Angel doesn't have a definitive character arc in season 1, without talking about Buffy season 4.
True.
And I really, really love Angel season 1. It's just like I think that discussion will be informed a little bit more if we talk about season 4 of Buffy with it.
In the same video.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get there.
Yeah.
Apparently Slade's in love. Um, Google needs to add more of these. These are ridiculously fun.
Oh yeah, more sounds. More sounds. Definitely more sounds.
Yeah, more sounds, more headgear, more eyewear and facial hair. Really fuzzy mustache. Oh, that's good. Yeah, this is fun. Oh, you got a monocle going.
Yeah, love the monocle.
Who doesn't? Monocles are good. Monocles are really good. Let's see. I'm King Slade. Actually, I think I look more like Odin now. Like a really young Odin.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
a terrifying birthday clown.
Okay.
You should totally let me near your children dressed like this.
I don't
Uh,
have any, so. Mm.
okay. Disney princess. A pirate. A real pirate. Arg. Fishwoman. Cool.
Just checking Twitter.
Hmm. There's a lot of news on Brian Fuller's Hannibal going on right now. Um,
Is it not switching back and forth?
switching back and forth. What do you mean?
Oh, you'll. Just join. Hi there. Audio on video. No. You guess. Oh, no. Yeah, is that better now?
Whoa. Is it on me? What?
I'm trying to check the video and it just looks like. Oh, good thing I checked that. 'Cause I hate to think of it looking like me talking to no one.
Yeah, that'd be bad. I'd say. Maybe the glass will form it all.
Oh, I'll check the video back later. But yeah, just
Let me see if I can log on and find that video. Because it's.
uh,
So hey, guess what?
what?
In about, what, 3 hours, the first episode of Ghost Rider is going live.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's coming 3
No, that's not it. Just checking things on us.
I love that Bat Cow is going to be in the new Lego Batman game. The
Back.
fact that we have Bat Cow in a video game just completes my life.
No, this thing is bugging the hell out of me now. Alright. Video is just holding things up. Uh,
I think there's a bit of a lag going on.
that's weird.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, so you said Alex is going to be on with you, hopefully?
He said 30 minutes, so hang on, let me. Uh, send in the link to the video.
Uh, I think I am an aged Winter Soldier with this picture.
Oh,
That or Batman Beyond's version of Dick Grayson, because he kind of looks like this.
yeah, I'm sending you the thing on link to the actual video on Skype,
Cool.
just to check and see if you're showing, if we're flicking back and forth when we talk. That's all. Uh,
It
oh,
looks like
so
we are.
we are?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, we're always kind of live. It's a little hard to tell because there's a little bit of a lag when we talk, so there's even more of a lag on the video.
Oh, really? Damn.
Uh, it's just the way like live things work, especially for free.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way things are going. Google effects. Oh, there's a control room. That's cool. Um, oh shit.
So the time when we started, will that work for you on Tuesday?
Um, what time specifically? Like 8 o'clock mine and Alex's time?
Yeah.
That should work, I think. Um, it
Okay.
would be a Monday, right?
Monday for you, yeah.
Uh, I think so.
All right.
Yeah, I think that would work. I would probably have to get off at like 9:30 my time, but that still leaves us like an hour and a half.
Yeah, all right. That's fine. I wasn't planning on going too much longer than
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's Comic-Con news. There's a lot to cover, but there's also a lot that no one cares about.
that. um,
For example, the Marvel Age of Ultron original graphic novel. For a second there, I thought it was Age of Ultron original graphic novel. No, it's off by one letter.
okay. If our one viewer, I think I know who it is, feels like asking questions, just throw them in the question thing. Okay?
Ask something so we don't just act like idiots talking to each other.
Yeah. Come on!
Ask us something. Batman Day was yesterday. Ask us something about Batman. I'm in a Batman
Yeah.
mood. Got my Batman shirt and everything.
I know there's a lag, so I'm willing to wait. Come on. I know I
Question.
don't have like over 1,000 subscribers, but come on.
What if it's just making us feel better by letting us know that we're watching us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sonic the Hedgehog 1 wants to know, how do we think Drew Goddard's Sinister Six will play out?
Oh, that's appearing in yours?
I just clicked on the video and it was on the YouTube comments.
Oh, okay. How are we
Uh,
feeling about what?
how do you think Drew Goddard's Sinister Six is going to play out?
Is that the movie that's coming out?
Yep, it's coming out. I want to say 2016 because Sony just revised a bunch of release dates for Spider-Man 3, Sinister
Yeah.
Six, and Uncharted. And
Okay.
Spider-Man
Well,
back to
I'll talk
20.
more about. I'll talk more. Uh, how I think the movie itself will turn out. That's fine. I can talk about that. I think if they go like a heist movie type route, it should work. But if it's not like that, I'm really curious to see how it will turn out. But I think it'll more than anything it'll be something different in the superhero genre, which is can only be a good thing, I think. So
I hope they play it a little bit like DC's Secret Six, or not Secret Six, but like Suicide Squad or either one of those brands, where it really is kind of like an Ocean's 11 kind of vibe.
oh, okay, yeah.
That'd be fun, I think. And if we have some, I don't know, if we have some like Angel humor, because Drew Goddard did work on a good number of episodes for Angel, that'd be pretty cool if we got like a little more noir with it.
Hmm.
Especially because that universe is already so heightened.
Hmm.
So I think we can accomplish pretty much anything.
I got 4 viewers now. Um,
Oh, apparently there's a major lag.
there's a major lag. Oh,
The comments, at least. And
okay.
I trust the comments.
Well, we're up to 4 viewers there for a few seconds.
Well, that's
So
cool.
I'm back down to 2 now. So now, come on, is there any other questions? Come on, guys. This is a test show, so uh, yeah. If you put them in the Q&A app, I'll definitely get them and I'll be able to see them. It's just I thought the video when I had it up was causing the lag. It was just not really working.
It's just an issue of Google.
All the money in the world and they can't get this working right.
Pretty much.
Mm. Oh.
So, Magpie, what are you reading lately?
Yeah, I got to catch up on I got a stack of stuff I'm supposed to be catching up on. I'm supposed to be catching up on Snyder's Batman.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I've got a couple of issues that I haven't really gotten into it yet. Still got 0 year to finish reading. I haven't checked out Eternal yet. I don't know if it's available out here yet.
Have you been watching mine and Alex's reviews of Eternal? Because that's not worth buying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, don't even bother catching up with Eternal. Just wait until we review all 60 issues for you.
Okay, fair enough. I read some Superman.
Oh,
Uh,
the new Jeff Johns run?
no, the new 52 version. Oh,
Yeah, the new Jeff
speaking of
Johns run.
superheroes. Oh.
Hey, Alex, what's up? Is he frozen? I can't see him.
He looks like he's frozen.
He's frozen with a smile on his face. Oh my god. Even in the back of his room, you can see the white association. Oh, there we go. I can't hear him.
Hang on, I'm gonna see if. No, this is a special.
I think I hear something now.
I can't hear you, Alex.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, that's that. It helps if you turn on the microphone.
Usually, yeah.
I can't tell. If it's blinking, does that mean that it's on or off?
Yeah, I was just
Mr.
saying.
A wants to know how we're doing.
I'm pretty well. I can't really complain. I haven't been sleeping that well. That's the only thing.
Alex, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's been hot here, so a lot of showers.
It gets hot there. Really?
Yeah, well, that's the thing people don't get about Canada is it's the country of weather extremes where in the winter it gets so cold you don't want to live here, and in the summer it gets so hot that you don't want to live here.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, in summer here you really don't want to live here. In winter here, you're just like, why is it so cold? It's Australia. It's not supposed to be cold.
How cold does it get there?
Recently it's been getting close to 0 degrees Celsius. So
Oh,
pretty
dang.
cold.
Oh my! Oh my, that's like warm in the winter. I would go outside in like shorts and a t-shirt.
Like literally, like it's so cold here. I've had to have my heater going like full rip. Especially that's mainly at night though. During the day, it's like late late teens and degrees Celsius or in the 20s.
That's especially strange for this time of year.
Wait,
Yeah,
that's like the average in winter?
but where I am, yes. If I go too much
Wow.
further east, further west, sorry, it'll get colder because it's the mountains and it's Canberra. So
Okay, yeah.
uh, yeah, I've been at places where it's going to drop below zero. So this is where I am on the coast here.
So why is Canberra the capital?
Because originally they thought with Sydney and Melbourne being so close to the coast, they didn't think either place would make a good capital, for, especially like if someone were to declare war on
Oh,
Australia. That's the main reason. And then someone uh, actually designed Canberra in a competition, and yeah, it looks like a looks
like a
like a
city that somebody designed in a competition.
yeah, it looks like and designed specifically for politicians.
Oh. But I guess Steve, your capital is like that too.
A little bit, yeah. The whole system of why Washington D.C. is the capital doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Isn't it
Yeah, you would
like
think like the capital of the US would be like Philadelphia or something.
Well, like originally it was New York, and then that changed, mostly because of like the way you had to cut districts. Because they mentioned like it's for a war reason and tactical reasons and all that. No, that's true. It's because dividing demographics and stuff is just easier with District of Columbia.
Oh.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I had a political science class earlier this semester, and our professor would explain that everything that we do in the U.S. is based on demographics. So don't believe what you read about wars or geopolitics.
Hmm. Um, our capital is Ottawa because of the War of 1812. Because York, which is now Toronto, but I mean York is a neighborhood in Toronto, um, was raised in the War of 1812, and then we went and burnt down Washington actually. And yeah, I see you guys have built a new White House, but
We did. We did. You didn't get our paintings. That was very important.
yeah, that's true. But that's okay. Art should be saved.
It should.
Um,
It totally should. You should feel
yes.
bad for burning it.
So yeah, they moved it to Bytown, which is now Ottawa, which is on the border of Ontario and Quebec.
Mr. E says that have you heard the reviews for Guardians? Apparently, it's very good.
Yes, I talked to a friend of mine who saw it, and he said it was as good as everybody's saying. So I'm very, very pumped.
Yeah, all of my friends are saying the exact same thing.
Magpie, does it come out in Australia the same weekend that it does here?
I think yeah, I think it does. I'd have to
Yeah.
check again, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think it actually comes out like the same day, but it's like a day or it's a day earlier here. I can't remember.
It's always a day earlier there.
No, actually, I'm coming to you from the future, don't
Well, I do see a TARDIS in the background.
you? Yeah. Yeah, I just stick it there because like no room for it anywhere else. This place is surprisingly small.
Mm.
Yeah, I gotta start reading this Superman stuff because like the last comic I read was actually pretty good.
Was that the new one?
I don't know. I think that's one of ones I got a couple of months ago. I haven't really been reading them, so I gotta get back to it though. But
Okay.
Steve's got me watching so much stuff. I'm probably gonna not find time for it. I'm stacking up, but I'm reading Turtles as well. That I read both of those issues back to back, but I got like two sent to me last week or something, and I got to read them now. Turtles is really good. That was a good top recommend by Cap.
I'm really behind on comics. I've managed to get caught up on a couple things, and obviously Batman Eternal because Steve and I do that show. But
Yeah,
I'm
that's not really a choice.
slowly. There are two Daredevil issues I'm behind on, so it's like, oh, that's when I know it's starting to add up. I'm like a month
Did you
behind.
read Zero Year yet?
Yeah, I did read the end of that,
How was
and
it?
good.
You still have to
Um,
talk about that.
yeah, I don't know what to even feel about it. Like, there's good stuff in it, and that's my problem with Snyder is he has so many great original ideas, but then he shoves them in stories that we've seen multiple times, often in recent history. So it's like I like it, but I don't like it.
I know what you mean.
It's one of his strongest endings, though. I'll say.
That's something. I kept hearing him and Greg Capullo talk about how emotional it is and how much they tear up while writing it and stuff. I don't know if it can live up to that kind of hype.
There's some pretty powerful shit at the end of it, I will say, that I
Okay.
didn't see coming, and in retrospect, it kind of makes sense given everything that Bruce Wayne, in particular this version, has gone through. I really need to sit down and reread it start to finish in a day, so
Right.
it's fresh in my memory. Because Snyder's definitely one of those writers who writes for trade. So
If you do that anytime soon, let me know. We can review that together because I'm finally caught up on Snyder aside from that last issue.
okay, yeah, I'd be game for that.
Yeah, I read a couple of the last issues of that, so I jumped on not in time because I only get like 4 different comics, so they send them to me all at the same time.
hmm
Okay.
Um, Mr. E says that I'm cosplaying a Slade, and he's right. And he's trying to give us topics, but Saturday hasn't happened yet. Very true.
Okay.
Yeah, that is true. But we did get profile Batfleck.
We did. I can't believe that was
I saw it before the internet exploded with it, so I get to brag. It was originally somebody who I follow on Twitter and talk to sometimes tweeted it, and they're like, "Yeah, I found this on this like random French website." So it did not. I guess that story or that picture did not break anywhere big. But I guess it's on part of a gigantic wall at Comic-Con of various Batman throughout history, and that's kind of how they wanted it to be revealed.
Which is cool, I admit. I just think that if you can barely show us anything in the marketing, why even bother marketing it? Why not wait until the film is like better composed?
Because it doesn't matter really, what they do. Any bit of news, even if it's fake, even if it's nothing, even if it's non-news, completely lights the internet on fire with regards to that movie.
Yeah, that's true.
And so they could have not gone to Comic-Con this year, and they still would have been the biggest story because everybody would have been talking about, well, why didn't they go to Comic-Con?
True.
So it doesn't. They have the easiest job marketing this movie probably in history. It's Batman and Superman in a movie that sells itself.
I wish they didn't think about getting lazy with that though, because clearly they're not even trying. Like we got Bat Stubble. How groundbreaking is that really?
Oh, I think it's pretty cool. But I mean, we've got the Avengers concept posters, which is a weird idea. it's like just promo posters basically, of like digitally painted stuff.
Yeah, I'm never crazy about Marvel's concept art in general.
I'm not either, generally. I did like the Ant-Man poster though.
Yeah, that was cool. That looked like a really sweet heist movie, actually.
I know you guys don't really watch. I don't think either of you watch the show, but apparently the Big Bang Theory cast had might not be coming back because they're not getting their raise in pay that they want. So, and it's pretty much the entire cast except for I think one.
Yes,
I don't know.
that's
I'm
a
okay with
Nick.
that.
It's a
I
Nick.
know that show was kind of funny in the beginning, like for the first season, and then it just became popular. And it's not. My problem with it is it's not really about geeks or geek stuff. It's
No.
the same tired jokes that you see on every crappy sitcom, just with geeky characters. And they have so many opportunities that they could make genuine jokes that people like us would find funny, because we're in the know. But they don't take those opportunities.
And they don't try even when the opportunity presents itself. Like my favorite example is always that how they have an argument about Dick Grayson versus Jason Todd as to who could take over as Batman.
Yeah, and it's
And
like,
that's not a
Tim
legitimate argument.
Drake. Yeah.
Like I don't know anyone in the comic book world who, when that episode aired, thought Jason Todd could take over as Batman.
Nobody thinks that, and nobody wants that.
No, even people who love Jason Todd know he should never do that. That's just a dumb debate.
Mm-hmm. But I think that show has gone on way too long anyway.
I was actually thinking the same thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just doing so.
I'm still not very caught up on Doctor Who, and I want to be ready for the new launch in August, but I don't know if we'll...
How far did you get?
I'm trying to think. The last one I saw was the Shakespeare Code.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, that's not too far.
I mean, I can get it done. It's just a case of I need to get it done.
I'm the same way with Continuum at the moment, man. I'm a little over halfway through season 2.
Okay.
So,
that show keeps getting fucking weirder and weirder every season. But like in a good way. Wait, season 3 is just crazy.
yeah, I can't. I don't know if I'm 100% finished downloading everything on that. Another show started up. Girl Meets World has started up.
That show was so bad. I saw the pilot when it aired, and it's basically everything about Boy Meets World, but not funny or slower.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's it called? Girl Meets Pearl?
Girl Meets World. It's essentially the same show. It just doesn't know why the first show was successful.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it feels to me like season 1 of Boy Meets World so far. I've only watched the first 3 episodes, so I'm giving it a chance. Mystery wants to know what our thoughts are on the Red Hood story DLC for Arkham Knight. That is okay, apparently.
Oh,
I haven't played that yet. I gotta catch up on my games, so.
I was just recently heard about that. Apparently, it was leaked a couple days before Comic-Con even started.
Okay.
Yeah. They also have a figure over at Comic-Con by Mattel, or Hasbro, I forget which one, with a red hood, and he's got a helmet and a hood or something. So he's just a super red hood.
Okay.
If it's good, I'll play it. If not, I don't care. I don't like Red Hood anyway.
I didn't see the picture of him.
Oh, you did?
No, I just knew that he was in the game.
Oh, okay. I'll show you the picture because it's a cool design, if nothing else.
Alright.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's okay, I guess.
Yeah, the figure makes it look a little bit better. The figure gives him like an actual jacket.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't like the whole mask slash helmet thing.
yeah, it's strange. I'm curious how they're gonna get him to play properly because Batman doesn't use guns. So will there be like an entire mechanic built in that game just for rendering?
That's kind of what I wonder about because, I mean, I'm looking at. Oh, this is a mod I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the right thing. Um, but yeah, that's I don't know. Yeah, I wonder about that too because it'll just turn into a third-person shooter. Um,
Which I mean, I don't mind if they can do that, but why waste money on it if they don't want to?
hmm
Um, there's also
I'm
the Harley Quinn thing, but I hate Harley Quinn, so I don't care.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't hate her, but I haven't read much of it, so I wouldn't know. Um, I do think to a degree she's overexposed, like everything. She's seems
hmm
like she's in everything.
True.
I would agree with that. I was thinking the other day though about Batman villains and like everybody says Mr. Freeze is one of the best Batman villains. And I was like, he's got one good story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got that one episode of the animated series. He's got one episode of Batman Beyond, if you want to stretch it.
Yeah, Meltdown's alright. Um, I actually kind of like the second episode that he's in Batman the Animated Series where he goes and meets like knockoff Walt Disney.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I remember that one.
just because that episode's so ludicrous and over the top. Like, the guy builds robots and they come and break him out of prison.
It is pretty cool, honestly.
But
What did you guys think of the cast members added to Arrow and that there was the Atom and someone else, I can't remember who.
Oh, Adam,
oh,
played by
Firestorm.
Brandon Routh, and Firestorm is in Flash, played by Steve Amell's brother.
Oh,
Or he can
okay.
play half of him.
Or I think it's his cousin.
Is his cousin or is his brother? I don't remember.
I thought it was his cousin.
I
But
don't know, because they're both their last names are Amell.
yeah.
So, I don't know.
I'm just
Um,
curious, how are you going to do Atom on the TV budget?
I don't know, but it
or
sounds awesome.
Firestorm. His hair is fire.
Yeah, and he's nuclear powered. I don't know how you'd get the effects for that.
hmm
I'm actually a little bummed that we got Brandon Routh and he's not playing Ted Cord.
I'm kind of, sad they didn't bring him back as Superman, and I didn't really like the guy as Superman, but I just feel like just give him another shot.
He's the one Superman no one cares about aside from Dean Cain, which is sad because he's better than Dean Cain.
That's probably true. Um,
And Dean Cain wasn't bad. I just think Brandon Routh has more acting potential than him.
that's true. And Dean Kane's just a crazy person.
Oh,
too.
he is. He's insane.
I'm less likely to like him.
Although he had the best Lois, I think, with Terry Hatcher.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Terry Hatcher's my favorite Lois. Mr. E, speaking of Arkham Knight, there any theories on who he is?
Well, my theory was that he was Jason Todd, and that's clearly not the case. So
I'm trying to think. I have no idea who it could be.
they keep saying he's an original character. So,
Yeah, I hope that's true. I hope it's just a brand new character created for the game. We don't have to know who he is under the mask.
and I think with the success of their games, I think they've earned the right to
Yeah,
You know,
their own character.
their own character.
I mean, they got away with killing the Joker in their second game, and no one complained. So they earn the right to make their own character without plot twists.
Yeah, good point.
And there are very few people who are allowed to kill the Joker, Paul Dini being one of them.
hmm
Adam West is on the Batman 66 panel.
Yeah, they're
I would
releasing.
hope so.
They're releasing the DVD.
Yeah, but I didn't expect him to show up at Comic-Con.
Yeah, and according to Johnny Blues, it's going to be really expensive. And I don't like the sounds of that because if it's expensive over there, it's going to be even more expensive over here.
If there's a pre-order listing anywhere, I'll see if I can find a price.
Hmm. I imagine it will be expensive, but I'm sure it will come down with time as well. I'm
Oh,
excited about that though, because everything, the only way that you can get a hold of that show is like bad bootleg torrents that are ripped from TV. They've all got
Yeah.
like TV Land imprint in them and stuff, so it'd be good to
yeah.
get better quality versions of them.
Yeah, I recently got another show that's only like, well, most of it, some of it's not available on DVD. I just haven't got around to buying it yet. Uh,
Okay. I found the pricing.
yeah,
In US dollars, it'll be $269.97.
that's
In
probably,
Canadian dollars, that's $290
For the whole series?
for the whole series.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and that's the limited edition Blu-ray. I don't know if there's any other version of
Okay.
that except that.
Mm.
Yeah, that'll just
Blu-ray. All right, let me put it to you this way. Arrow came out, that was $40. That's a brand new show.
Well, because the Batman 66 show was only 3 seasons.
yeah, they're not long seasons.
Yeah, and
Well, no,
alright,
they are. I mean, they're 20 to 30 episodes a season.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's just standard par for the course, really.
Yeah, especially back in the day. But yeah, that you do the math. It's like, how do you get to 300? Because a season does not cost $100. That's insane.
If you want just the regular DVDs, it's different. The regular DVDs are $179, which would be like about $200 Canadian.
Okay.
alright. No, that sounds closer to right.
Although I would wager that there were no special features in that version.
Yeah.
What a load of baloney.
Yeah, I do really want to buy it, but there's no way I'm spending $269 just for a couple of documentaries.
Yeah,
Mm,
no kidding.
alright. We might have another question here. Hang on. Any theories on who Dwayne Johnson's DC character is?
Well, clearly it's either Captain Marvel or Black Adam, because he's basically said as much. He's not
And
really keeping a secret, so.
okay. Those are my theories. I agree with them.
I'm okay with him playing either. I don't want Shazam to be part of the DC cinematic universe because it's fun and silly and for kids and in no way fits with the tone that they've established so far.
I agree.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
then I don't think Superman does either. So, and we got that movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think he'd make a cool Black Adam.
He would. I think he could work really well as Captain Marvel too, because the whole shtick is he's a kid in an adult's body, and I would pay money to see The Rock play that.
me too. Me too.
I guess it's also a matter of casting Billy Batson just right, because you don't want just like any annoying normal kid. You want someone who can act.
Yeah.
And he should have just as much screen time as Shazam, I think.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point, because it will be kind of a dual lead sort of movie, just in concept.
Yeah, and you can get away with it with other superheroes because they're just the actor in costume. But with Shazam, I don't know how you'd balance them both.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to do like the first Superman thing, where like the first half of the movie is just Billy Batson before he gets his powers or something.
Yeah, I
That would
think
be a smart way to do it.
I think with a character like that, you do need to have an origin.
You do.
We
Because
definitely.
Yeah, if they haven't been done on screen before, my thing is do the origin. That way, people know what it is. I know people don't like origin stories, but if they haven't been done on screen before, then even if it's something very generic, it has to be done. People expect that. So
Well, even well, I mean, it's just even in the case of like Captain Marvel, Shazam, whatever we're calling him now, um, he's got a good origin story.
He
So
does.
I would like to see that. I mean, his best friend is a talking tiger. How is that not saleable?
That's true. That's completely true. Justice League Unlimited, when Captain Marvel first shows up in the second season.
Oh yeah,
I think, what is it called? Clash, I think is the name
yeah,
of it.
Clash.
Yeah, and you how all the entire Justice League is just overly depressing, taking things too seriously, and Captain Marvel's the guy who's having fun, and Captain Marvel
Hmm.
is the guy who walks away from the league. If they did that in the cinematic universe, and that's how they changed tone, that'd be really cool.
That would be a good way to do it, to be honest.
Yeah, like what if they realized Man of Steel didn't work tonally, and it was Batman versus Superman, and they used Shazam to shift out of it?
That's a pretty big what if, and given how much
Oh, it is.
Snyder
But
and
if that
Goyer
was
have
it,
defended that movie, I don't think that's going to be the case. But God, I hope that happens.
I know because I like that episode a lot.
Hmm. Well,
Um,
even Batman's like, we like him. He's funny.
yeah, he's fun.
Okay, here we go. I started thinking about it. He said, say the word sounding like someone should tell him what to do. That basically, that basically like Lobo with someone telling him what to do. That is just something I started thinking about. Okay,
That's not the
that's
impression I got. Um,
Same.
well, and The Rock tweeted a picture of Superman and Captain Marvel fighting Black Adam today. So
okay.
Yeah, made movie.
All right. Alex, back to Doctor Who for a second. What was your reaction to Doomsday? Uh, that episode where Rose leaves.
I kind of teared up a little bit. That was a really good ending. Uh, I didn't really care for Rose all that much in the beginning, but she definitely grew on me.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a couple of reaction videos online, and I just think every time I'm watching, I just think it's really funny watching people react to it. I know you shared my recent video, I reacting to the Fat Pizza versus Gazos movie.
Thongarang, just take my money. That's so ridiculous. I'm really excited about that actually.
Yeah, makes me want to go back and watch some more Fat Pizza. I'll probably put that on the stick because I got a new thing, a new digital set-top box, and it's got a USB port in it, and it seems like a lot of stuff that wasn't working on the PlayStation now works on that, so I can just sit back and watch
Yeah, okay.
more stuff now. So I'll probably move my Fat Pizza stuff onto it and watch that.
I need to watch that series yet too, because I haven't seen any of it. So I haven't seen Swift and Shift either. So I'm
Oh,
curious to see. I hope they
every
do. I hope. Well, I think it's kind of funny too that like they're doing a crossover movie, and it's kind of a weird team up thing like that we're seeing in the superhero realm, in Australian sitcoms. But I hope there's a huge one, next that's all three shows. That would just be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Because I watched Swift and Shift, and that looked like a really funny show about uh, the whole workplace humor type thing, and how ridiculous some stuff can be sometimes.
Mm. But when does the movie come out?
Pretty soon, October apparently.
Oh shit. Okay. I got it cut up in a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah, I've got Oh, sorry. I gotta finish watching that, and trust me, I will be doing a non-spoiler thing for you, so let you know what I think about it, at least.
Okay, yeah. Well, I guess that's a good point. Is I probably won't see it for a while because I don't expect it to, be shown here.
Yeah, neither do I, but if I find something available for you, I'll let you know. Because that's gonna be something we'll have to talk about at some stage. Because that I know how much you love Tazos.
Yeah. It was a really good trailer.
Uh, this is a crazy question. You guys ever think about doing a commentary on a movie? I'm talking about you three together. We already did one. We did Captain America: Winter Soldier.
First
Yeah.
Avenger.
Or First Avenger. Yeah.
Yeah, Winter Soldier will be that's on DVD.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I said Winter Soldier. Uh,
Because it's
yeah.
awesome. He said it.
Yeah. We did a pretty good job, all three of us together, on that. We have been having some trouble getting together to do the first ever chemically assisted commentary on X-Men Origins Wolverine. Mirror Magpie's really disappointed about that. That's why he made me watch all the Saw movies back to back.
That was fun, by the way.
Yeah. So we're gonna get together and do another one sometime soon. I'm
Mhm.
sure about it. It's just Alex is trying to focus on doing his own thing right now, and yeah,
Yeah, I can swing it at some point. It's just hard to plan in advance.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Especially 'cause something like that would take like a good 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Um, so
Just
should we talk
yeah,
about the fact that Zack Snyder doesn't know what a Jedi is?
Yeah, that bothered me, but then I mean I tweeted like, well, I guess that explains the Superman movie. Because
It does.
well, and I was thinking about that too, and not to get like overly philosophical with it, but this is a guy whose job is to create the DC cinematic universe, which the whole concept of superheroes is good guys versus bad guys. And he can't tell the difference between a good guy and a bad guy. He doesn't
yeah.
know that Sith have red lightsabers, Jedi don't. That's troubling to me.
Yeah. Um. ooh, Uh. Once I get a chance, we'll get together and do the next. We'll do the next Aussie Canuck podcast, at least on the first season of continuing. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about the X-Men Origins Wolverine thing. It is something I can handle. The movie doesn't bother me. Okay, fair enough. It doesn't bother me that much either, but I understand why.
It's silly and bad, and like yeah, it doesn't bother me that much, but it's not a good movie, and it's very bizarre, and so it's a good movie to do that kind of a commentary for.
Yeah, we talked about doing the room as well at one stage
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah.
I gotta
You
get a
would
hold of that.
need chemical assistance to get through that.
Um, because someone talked about it a while ago, and I was very interested to see it after that because it's like described it as one of the best comedies I've ever seen. Um, at some stage though, I'm definitely going to be talking fresh from fresh from the cinema, but like not really from the cinema, like thing on Sharknado when I can, because I want to actually sit down and watch that just to
Oh,
see how
okay.
bad it is. Uh, there was another show I was planning on starting up soon as well, but this would be just for me. Watching
Sorry.
something.
Oh.
Yeah, I could tell. Yeah, I was thinking of doing a show where I watch something on Quick Flicks and then do my first thoughts on it. But, like, most of that stuff's like older stuff. Alright, we got another question. This is cool. Especially with the Deadpool character, which they say still hope to reboot the character. Well, yes, definitely they need to do that because apparently that makes a lot of Deadpool fans really upset about that. So I understand that too.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a big Deadpool person, so.
Same.
But at the same time, like, I get that he has a big following, and I would like to see a version of the character that is more true to who that character is in the comics, because he's not necessarily my thing, but I get why he's popular. There's definitely a very unique thing going on there with kind of breaking the fourth wall all the time. So that would be really neat to see, and we haven't seen anything like that in a superhero film. So I'm all for it.
Don't you think it'd be really apt to make fun of like superhero films with a fourth wall breaking Deadpool film right now? Especially with like the
right.
films. Like, what if he just they suddenly really commenting on that?
That would be both so good and so needed. Like, I think we need a little bit of deconstruction and commentary on what's been going on.
Yeah, and we're not talking like Alan Moore, just break it down because it's bad, but like just poking fun at the fact that we're releasing like 4 or 5 superhero films every year now, back when we used to get like one every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because Marvel's gonna do like 3 a year now.
The franchise rebooted.
Guys, if you can.
Hello?
What happened?
Yes. If there's
I'm here.
We sound like
There's a lag of some kind.
up for a second there. Wow. All right. Mr. E is sending us another question soon. So, yeah. So we're when it crops up, I'll let you know. Yeah. So I can see why he's popular. I've heard basic story about him. I watched the fan film him, and that was really interesting. For the Marvel Phase 3 slots, how many slots are there available in the Marvel Phase 3 anyway?
Like 6.
As many as they want there to be, really.
Well,
6 movies, okay, so we're definitely getting Thor 3. Sorry? How many?
Are we frozen?
Okay. I was saying Thor 3, Cap 3, Avengers 3, so that's 3 slots already. So probably the next Ant-Man movie, the next Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, remember
Doctor Strange is coming.
And Cap's release date's already been announced. They've got like 6 additional slots, including those 2 movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like we got Cap 3 Ant-Man, then we got 6 movies, with one of them being Avengers. So that's 5 for 3 movies. We know one of them will probably be Doctor Strange.
I'm assuming, yeah, Thor 3.
Yeah, Thor 3, maybe Guardians 2, if it does well.
It'd be nice to see another solo Hulk movie.
It would. I would love that. And Downey is now really open to doing Iron Man 4, but I doubt we'd see that in Phase 3.
Yeah, I don't expect it either.
Do you guys think people are too? Yeah, do you guys think though that that's because people are so trilogy minded and so against um people uh getting changed, cast changed?
Maybe. I don't know totally what's planned for for Iron Man in the Avengers movies. So
Um, yeah, I don't think with Iron Man specifically it's a trilogy mindset, but if Downey does leave after Iron Man 3, it's gonna like really make that trilogy thing more forced than it should be. Like people will start thinking after 3 movies everything should reboot,
hmm
which would stink. I would really like for the Marvel Cinematic Universe to just keep going forever, despite continuity, just keep going.
X-Men's done it.
Yeah, X-Men's done it.
Yeah, they just said fuck continuity.
That's one of my favorite things about Days of Future Past is the ending when effectively everything's open again.
hmm
I love that.
Yeah, I love that Cyclops shows up at the end.
Yeah, it was cool.
Was
Yeah, the minute I saw Cyclops, I'm like, Shades is gonna be wetting himself. Like, somewhere else in Australia, I knew someone was gonna be really happy. Oh, yeah, so I haven't got too many ideas. Like for those last three slots, three if you want.
I would love a Captain Marvel movie with Carol Danvers.
Oh yeah, we desperately need that solo Black Widow movie too.
Solo Black Widow movie.
Condor Man movie. He's gonna be part of the. He's gonna be part of the Marvel universe. Then yeah.
I think like who else is there?
Black
I
Panther.
would. Yo, Black. Yeah, that's the big one.
John Boyega apparently really wants to do that.
I heard about that. I think he'd be good.
I think he's a little young, but if they did like the father dies and the son takes over prematurely kind of story, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, you could make it work. I mean, they did Tony Stark in his 40s, so.
True.
Everyone's the rights to Blade now, anyway.
Marvel has Blade back. They have Ghost Rider and Blade back. They've got pretty much everything except like Namor, X-Men, and Spider-Man, I think.
Okay.
Are we wondering if there will be a third DC CW series? Well, if
Maybe. I don't know if there's room.
There's already too many DC shows on air, so we'll see.
Well, the thing is, okay, we got a substitute Batman show in Arrow, and we got a substitute. I feel this way that the Flash, from what I've seen, is going to be the substitute Superman show. Well,
I don't know. I think the Flash will be more of a Flash show. I think they've finally started to all of those people clue into these characters and what makes them work, and not just try and copy other stuff. But I would say that the Gotham is the fake Batman show.
It is.
I don't know if that will last. I hope it doesn't. Constantine, I'm sure, will probably last, given Supernatural's been going on for as long as it has.
Well, I'm not sure because it's on NBC and they canceled Dracula recently, and they had a show right before that's horror based, and I'm not sure if anyone's going to tune into Constantine afterwards.
Interesting.
It's got like a bit of an uphill battle, and people are already complaining about how many changes they've made to it. Like it's going to be more tame than the Keanu Reeves movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing is, I don't know who would make a good like who in DC would probably make a good like. I guess you could do a Suicide Squad TV show. Um, it really.
They tried a Birds of Prey TV show once. That could work.
You know, now that they've said that the movie and TV universe are connected, what if we did like a full-on Batman, Superman, Birds of Prey kind of TV show on air along with the films? Like, what if we just brought in Oracle with the next season of Arrow and had her form the Birds of Prey?
Yeah, I'd be open to it.
I would love a Cassandra Cain show, and she doesn't even have to be Batgirl, just her with her dad training and learning to kill people, not speaking, things like that. Make it really Lone Wolf and Cub-esque.
Yeah, that could be a really interesting and bizarrely artsy kind of a show if she doesn't speak.
Yeah, and her dad's got a very interesting personality. I'm sure he could carry a show.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what lasts and what doesn't.
Sure.
I should mention that at Supernova they practice the woman that plays Laurel pretty much confirmed that she's going to become full-on Black Canary in the next season.
Okay.
Without coming out and saying it directly, she pretty much confirmed it.
I missed Mary Lance already, though.
Yeah, so that's happening.
Yeah, I don't. The more I think about Constantine, it's like that's. I mean, that originally was. Well, I mean, I guess he first appeared in Swamp Thing, but that was always a weird horror kind of comic that was a little bit more adult. But then, like, he was in Vertigo for forever, and that's like DC's mature readers line.
And it was a mature comic book from the get-go. I mean, the first issue opens with John coming back to his house, and his drug-addicted friend is possessed by a bug demon, and he's sitting in his bathtub with bugs all over him. And Constantine travels to Africa to cut the tongue off of a little mute kid and seal the demon away.
Yeah, so I don't get how that's suited to network TV.
I mean, the first issue was there to let you know this world is disgusting and weird. Hey, V.
How much did that cost?
Couple of bucks, actually. Yeah.
Those things are surprisingly cheap.
It's just plastic, and it's got the eye holes cut out. As I continue the DCCW thing, do you think Wildcat might be introduced as Laurel's trainer?
I would love that.
I'd totally dig that.
Mm.
As far as like things I'd like to see in Arrow go, I would like to see Oliver become more like Oliver and less like knockoff Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, I think I told you this before, but my ultimate wish for that show is by the end of the series to have Island Oliver be really broody Bruce Wayne and have present day Oliver be basically Errol Flynn.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And it would be a great contrast to see how he's changed like that.
Yeah, exactly. I hope that as that show progresses, he gets more teary.
Mm-hmm.
Because Steve Amelo's kind of got an Errol Flynn personality already.
Yeah, he does. Like, in real life, he's more like Oliver Queen than he plays him on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just think with all he's gone through and like being fresh from the island, he's got a reason to be a bit broody.
But by this point, he's been off the island for like 3 years now. He's found new love, he's found new purpose, he's kind of gotten rid of most of his enemies.
Yeah, I agree. But recently picked up a Green Arrow comic at Supernova, and it was actually really good. It actually made me want to drop one of the things I am picking up, which is Green Lantern. But I really want to read some Green Arrow now.
Ooh, what book did you pick up?
Hang on.
DC recently put all of Mike Grell's stuff back in print. With one trade every few months. So if anyone's interested in buying that, it's a good investment.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they did it. Oh, cool. That's a good issue, actually.
Issue 14.
Yeah, that's like the beginning of the last last couple issues for that one, and then issue 17 starts the current stuff, which is fantastic.
I saw that and I'm like, Green Arrow versus Mechs. That seems like a pretty out there concept. So I read it and it's got Batman in it, and I thought that was really weird. Like Batman making Green Arrow's arrows, but I thought it was really weird. But it worked for that issue. So
Hawkeye made all Moon Knight stuff, but
That's cool.
they traveled back in time, so.
Is Hawkeye still coming out? Because I haven't seen an issue of that discussed in so long.
Yeah, that book I think is wrapping up. There's gonna be like another issue or two or something.
Okay. Because when it first came out, everyone just like heralded it as the greatest thing since Watchmen, and now no one even addresses it.
Because it doesn't come out. I mean, that's the problem. Is it's been so inconsistent.
Mm. Yeah, Matt Fraction's been writing a lot, so I can see why.
Yeah. Well, I've heard things about the artist too being somewhat slow.
Oh,
But I thought that they solved that problem though, because part of the way that that book has been working is one issue is Kate Bishop in California doing her Hawkeye thing, and the other one is Clint in New York doing his Hawkeye thing. And it's a different artist on Kate than on Clint, so he has double the time to do the art. So I don't know what's going on.
oh. Well, according to this news site, issue 19 is going to be told almost entirely in sign language.
Almost what?
Almost entirely in sign language.
Yeah, because something that somebody brought up, a fan, I think, in one of the letters columns of the book, was that like at one point Hawkeye was deaf or partially deaf or something, and then that's like never been addressed again. And they're like, well, we don't have any deaf characters, so can we see that, please? And I guess they obliged.
That's cool. If they were going to make Hawkeye deaf, I would have loved if they brought in that Daredevil villain Echo, because she's deaf and she's really cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
we got another question here. What are your opinions on Lex and Captain Cold as Leaguers? Related question.
I didn't read Forever Evil, so I'm not sure how the whole Lex thing is going to go.
Yeah, I haven't been reading that either. So
Neither have I. But Alex, any idea when we're going to get together and discuss this?
Oh, yeah, we should do that at some point. I need to rewatch through the first season. But yeah, I'm getting in kind of a TOS mood, so.
Okay. Because I love that. Like, I think that's some of the best TV I've ever watched, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Star Trek is always very hit and miss. But when it's good, it's really good. Just great sci-fi and great television in general.
Well, like, there was a bunch of episodes there that I loved. Like, even if I didn't like, there was something in there I didn't particularly like, I couldn't really say it was a 100% bad episode. Like, I was like, where was there? Where has this been all my life? You know?
Yeah.
But like, I understand it doesn't hold that level of greatness. Like, because like most of the iconic episodes are in that season.
That's true. Most of them are first season ones. There are some exceptions, but yeah, most of them are.
Yeah, like Doomsday Machine's not in there. I haven't seen that, so they made me watch that.
Second season, I think. Third season has a a handful of good ones, but it's generally not nearly as good as the first 2 seasons.
But yeah. So there, that's like my quick opinion of it. It was like really good. Like I'm looking forward to talking about it. That's all.
Cool.
Nearly as much as I'm looking forward to talking about Buffy season 3, 4, and Angel season 1.
I actually sat down and started watching some of TOS the other day. I couldn't stop for some reason.
Oh, cool. What ones did you see?
Huh?
What ones did you see?
I saw like the first, what was it, 6 or 7 episodes of season 1, and I've seen it before, but it's the first time I'm rewatching them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I don't care for the pilot, and I don't care for the Charlie X episode, but
Yeah, same, pretty much.
Oh yeah, Charlie X was like the. Are you talking about the man trap or the cage? 'Cause-
well, I don't like Mantrap, and I don't like Cage very much either, and I don't like Charlie X. So that's actually 3 episodes I don't like.
I liked the cage.
Oh, really?
I like it better as Menagerie.
Oh yeah, yeah, that I agree with. But like, there's something about like that. Like, I still think that would have been a different show. Like, but I think that Captain would have eventually had to evolve into Kirk in some way.
Well, Menagerie is really interesting, but just the Cage on its own, I don't think I would have watched that show if that was the premise for the series. I don't like that Captain as much as I like Kirk.
Well, it was only like one episode. Like I said, they would have had to evolve in anyway to be Kirk. Like, no, there's no doubt Kirk would have been better, but
Yeah, I also just don't care for that actor, I guess.
oh, what? I recommend William Shakespeare's Star Wars. I haven't finished the first book, but it was very entertaining. Okay.
I've seen that in stores, actually. It looks hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, bizarre concept. Yeah. You guys been watching the multi-topic extravaganza on at all?
Oh yeah, yeah. I caught the latest one of that today.
Yeah.
He says he answered my question, but I haven't gotten to that episode yet. So must have sat down and like done them all, and then it's releasing them week to week.
Oh, that's smart.
Well, that's what I'm assuming he's done because he's already said he answered my like he couldn't answer the Condor Man question because he hasn't had a chance to watch that yet.
Okay.
But that I think will be one of the first rewinds back when he said he's not doing them until next year. He's not going back to the schedule today.
Because 2 years is taking a long time.
Well, past a year and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
He's only got like 50 episodes to go, so he should be done by mid-September if he keeps going where he's going.
Yeah, I still don't know how he's resolving that, and because he said that he has a plan. So.
Okay.
Well, he says the finale is going to be extremely massive. He just got finished writing like the prologue or something, and it's already 15 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so it's going to be very plotty, I assume.
I'm trying to think, like, if you add all of it up, how many hours of video is that? It's probably a lot.
If you check on the playlist, I think it tells you how long everything is altogether.
Oh, did he finally update that?
He might have, I don't know, but let me just double check and see.
That's my one problem is they've really let that element slide, and so it's like it's hard to find stuff.
True.
Yeah.
He's a little bit behind, but not by much. Just a couple.
Okay.
I don't mind, but like, really now when you upload a video, there's no excuse because you can just click it and add it to the playlist.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, you can.
That's one positive thing I'll say about YouTube is I like their upload thing overhaul that they did.
I also like their video editing section too. If you ever like let something run for too long, or you just need to snip out a line, it's really helpful.
Oh, I've never used that before. I should check it out. I've used
What's also is
annotations of that.
oh, okay. What's also cool is that if the video file you're uploading is taking too long to render, just upload the audio and just upload the video as unlisted, and then just paste them together on YouTube's editor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's how I did my Batman 75 one, and it worked out pretty well.
We got another question from Mr. E. Have you guys ever thought about doing your own scripted series?
I don't
No.
know how we possibly collaborate in writing like that.
Well, does he mean
Yeah.
us three collectively or individually or?
Because
Well,
I
let's,
know we do some scripted things separately, but not together, I don't think.
it would be very hard for it, like, literally, like, the three of us are from three different countries.
Just 100,000 miles, you know?
Yeah. So it would be very difficult. Not impossible, but I imagine it would be very difficult. Like, if we were to do, like, a single video, I suppose it could work. Like, if we had to, like, for a competition or something. But, I have thought about doing my own version of Spawn Year, and there's a couple of ideas I have thrown around. Like, I wouldn't do Spawn, because,
Well,
like,
obviously.
thing is, if I want to do something like on that level, I've got to have some sort of love for it. So
That's fair enough, yeah.
You'll end up going crazy like Cap has. So.
yeah, and the thing is, I wouldn't let it get away from me like that. It would really tick me off to have it literally get away from me like that. I've told you guys if I was going to do something like that, I'd have 3 months planned out in advance, all in the can.
Oh, I would have the whole year done before I wouldn't even want to risk it.
You wouldn't even mention it to anyone until the whole thing's finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mentioned the Cap, like something I was going to do. I was going to do like Blue Healers at some stage, but like it's like $1,000 for the entire series on DVD now because it's so rare.
Well, and that's a long-running show too, so.
Yeah, it's like what 500 something episodes long. I'm so glad though that we're not doing TV shows anymore because like I would have recommended that to do that. No, and I'm like no, like because like each season is like 40 episodes long.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's just insane.
Yeah, like cause like it was that successful out here. It's I'm not kidding. Like
Were they 40-minute episodes?
yeah, like they were 40 plus just over 40. Like they were hour long, hour long.
Yeah.
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 So I'm not sure if this counts as us three doing a scripted thing, but at one point I was going to ask you both to like read a couple lines for a Ghost Rider skit. I just ran out of time, so I wasn't able to add that in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
Well, scripted could mean a lot of things. Like, scripted could just mean, like a regular scripted review, I guess, or it could mean like I'm trying to think of like even the word, because like I know a lot of reviewers do that, where there's kind of their things like they play a character, or
Yeah.
like a quasi accurate version of themselves that's somewhat exaggerated. And you're doing something like Spawn Year that's sort of a narrative. That's scripted, but that's definitely a different thing.
What could be really cool is if all three of us like co-authored some kind of analysis on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work. Like
That would be really hard to coordinate and take a very long time to do, but it'd be interesting.
Mm.
We'd have to do
As an
some execution
experiment.
subject.
Yeah, it would probably take nearly as long as Alex's Iron Man 3 review has taken.
Oh, you're probably right.
Well, if we do ever do that in the future, we should just pick like one issue or like one movie and just pick one theme to write about and just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Um, I can't imagine who'd like be the proofreader though.
um, like if it, like if we're whoever's channels it was going up on would have to be um the proofreader.
Yeah,
That's the
I
only
guess
thing.
so.
Like it was
That makes sense.
Yeah.
like. So, what got you two here? The next CFG, when do you want to record that?
What's the topic again?
Well, the next one is due out in August, and that's my birth month. I threw a couple of ideas at you, Steve. Do you just want to do a topic, or do you, Alex, or do you want it to be something specific?
It's up to you. As long as it's not, too hard to get caught up on.
Okay. Um, Depending on when we record it. So, uh, Steve and I are doing the Buffy review this weekend.
Yeah, on
Uh,
Saturday. If we want to do the CFG right after that, we can maybe.
okay.
I don't know. It
Uh,
depends. Because I have to do Geeky Gentleman on a Friday, and I might also have to do 24 on Friday or Saturday.
well,
Back to you on that.
okay. I'm not in a rush to do it because as long as it's out before the end of August, it's fine. And depending on when WRTR, then there's an announcement video comes out.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Which comic book, this is from Mr. E again, which comic book non-superhero would you like to see in a movie?
Non-superhero.
Well, that's a weird one.
The Manhattan Projects would be cool.
I haven't read that yet. Is that good?
Yeah, I really like it.
Um,
What is
I'd
it?
love
This
Black Science as a movie. Just the whole concept, really.
sex criminals, just to see how they would do it.
Well, again, it's a gray, so I can't imagine sex criminals would be hard.
Yeah, just say there's still like I still wanted to say like if you're talking super if you said superheroes, I'd say look, after Justice League, I want to see a Defenders of the Earth movie, live action. I want to see the Phantom back. I want to see a brand new. Apparently, they're doing a new Flash Gordon. So,
Oh, are they? That's cool.
And Mandrake. Thing is, not sure who would play Mandrake.
Who owns the rights to all those characters?
I don't know. Like the Phantom, I assume is still owned by Paramount. I assume if they are all under one studio, that'd be really cool. The only thing I would change from the cartoon is like I'd switch, have the Phantom have a son, and if they're doing the whole kid thing, and Lothar's daughter, Letha would have a daughter instead of a son. That's the only thing I'd change around. And that little kid that Mandrake hangs out with, make it less annoying. Like that kid in that show is more annoying than Wesley Crusher.
How is that possible?
Trust me, it's possible. There's this thing in the first cartoon where you're just like, oh god, let him die already.
Oh, guys, this is cool. The $279 Batman.
You dropped out there. Where was that? Batman what?
The Batman TV series. The $279 ones also comes with a Batmobile.
Oh, okay. The real one?
I wish the real one
Because that makes it a far better deal if it's a real car.
It also comes with a free Burt Ward and Adam West.
Oh, okay. So see, now it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, now it's worth it. I'm not sure if I paid $279 for Burt Ward, but Adam West.
Yeah.
Mm.
I guess if it's the package deal.
Hey, if they're throwing Julie Newmar, there's no complaints.
Oh, God. All three of the Catwomen. I'll take them.
Uh,
Like, it's not Eartha Kitt because she's dead, but
yeah.
that would be gross.
Well, you can always throw in a couple of ashes from her and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Either of you guys seen that movie Iron Sky?
No.
Still haven't, and I need to.
Right. Yeah, so would I.
Okay. I have to watch it this Friday before we do our Geeky Gentleman on it. But
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna be on Nazis, so that's cool.
Nazis who went to the moon.
Yeah, Nazis who went to the moon. It's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I've heard Ian talk about it before. I'm like, okay, I
Yeah,
have
he
to.
loves that movie.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think he's ever going to have me on that show.
oh, yeah, we'll just ask him, I guess.
No, I've asked him already. He needs to want me on that show. Mm.
What's the barbed wire city?
Oh, that's a documentary. They did a Kickstarter for. I got that, the DVD, and a bunch of other stuff for it. Most of which I couldn't like. We got a ticket to the premiere, but like it's in the United States, so I didn't couldn't go. And by the time it all got here, it was like way part. Like even if I could fly out there, it wouldn't have been that good. But like I got the poster, which I really wanted anyway, and the DVD. Like that was all I really wanted.
Mhm.
That's cool.
What's the documentary about?
The wrestling company ECW and like all the subsequent attempts at remaking it that have happened.
Okay.
Yeah, the copycat promotions that sort of cropped up, like reunion shows that they did. Yeah. A lot of the interviews are with guys that passed away as well. Like they've apparently been making this for years.
Oh, cool.
I'm curious to see this Superman Lives documentary.
Oh, me too.
Because apparently they're asking for more funding now, so I might chip in because I didn't get the opportunity to the first time around. Because that's definitely something I really want to see.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out this spring, but I guess it ran into some trouble.
Yeah, documentary filmmaking, I did not realize costs that much money.
Yeah, evidently.
Yeah, I had a recent idea of like if I were to do my own, I'd do it on another wrestling company because I don't think they're getting enough attention when they died. Died like just after ECW, and I was like, well, someone should do a documentary on that because it's like it's never really been 100% covered.
I'm really excited to see Midwestern panels as well.
Oh yeah, me
'Cause
too.
I did fund that. um,
You
I'm
funded that thing like
so
that.
yeah. I'm so curious to see some of what these people have to say, and just hearing Cap talk about it and how there are all these different people with all these very different perspectives, and I kind of wonder, because I definitely am quite opinionated on certain things in that respect, and so I'm curious, do my opinions line up with the reality of the situation? Do I need to change my opinions on these things? I want to know,
You mentioned a
and I
lot of
think it's just a really
read
cool
about
concept.
too, so that could be really interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
Another question for Mr. E. Apparently, Justwin has said that there are 4 prominent female characters in Age of Ultron. Alright, one of them's Black Widow, one of them's...
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, Maria Hill, he said, and then he didn't say the fourth one. So we're all left kind of confused.
That Joss Whedon for you. Maybe Buffy will make a comeback. I don't know.
yeah. And Blade will show up and they'll be like, what? What?
She'll show up with like her Slayer scythe and just decapitate him.
I wouldn't be surprised though if they cast all those douchebags as a third person.
Yeah, he hasn't worked with her in quite a while. I'd love to see her do something with Whedon.
Yeah. I still wouldn't mind, like, even now, I wouldn't mind him going back to the Buffy universe.
Yeah.
Like,
I want more Firefly, but
well, I do too, but I know you don't like Serenity, so.
yeah, that's true. I guess he did sort of end it the way that he wanted, so.
Is that the... Is it a poster or something wrapped up?
I had to make like a lightsaber-esque thing for a video clip, and I didn't have a stick, so I just used like Coke cardboard. A random red lightsaber.
But you know it's a Sith thing, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I was gonna use a Mountain Dew box because I always wanted a green lightsaber, but I didn't have enough.
I always wanted a green one too.
Yeah, green's my favorite color.
Be right back, fellas.
Well, and I mean, that's the one that Luke gets when he becomes a full Jedi, so.
Oh yeah, just the nostalgia of that. Even as a kid, I always wondered, like, when did he get that lightsaber?
Well, there's a deleted scene from Return of the Jedi where he builds it at the beginning.
Oh, is there? I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's apparently really short. From what I remember of it.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that the whole building a lightsaber thing's kind of a Jedi rite of passage. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know about that. I don't know why they deleted that from the film then, because it sounds like a good scene. It'd be really cool to open a movie with Luke building a lightsaber, especially after how depressing
Oh yeah.
Empire Strikes Back is.
That's true. It wasn't really, from what I remember, it wasn't really anything special though. So that's probably why they cut it. Also, Return of the Jedi is my least favorite of the original trilogy. So.
Yeah, I think most people do.
I have other bigger problems with that movie.
It's not great, but nostalgia is nostalgia, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there is good stuff in it, and great stuff in it, but there's bad stuff too.
I think that whole sequence on the Death Star when Luke, Vader, and Palpatine are talking is really good.
Oh yeah, that's why when I was a kid it was my favorite, and then I grew up and was able to actually look at it critically. But
did you ever listen to the Weird Al Yoda song?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, because there's this really great line, because it's essentially taking place during Empire Strikes Back, and Weird Al sings, as Yoda, he sings to Luke that, I know Darth Vader's got you annoyed, but remember if you kill him, you'll be unemployed.
Weird Al, I guess, released a new album very recently, I think like a couple weeks ago or something, and it's like, everybody's talking about it, but I don't My problem with Weird Al is I don't know any of the songs that he's parodying anymore.
It's gotten to this point where it almost doesn't matter. Some of his songs are just awesome by themselves. Like now, I can't differentiate the lyrics from "Beat It" by Michael Jackson and "Eat It" from Weird Al,
Yeah.
and I can't even think of what that song is that he's parodying with White and Nerdy, but it's still funny.
Oh, that's Riding Dirty. I at least knew that.
Okay, I didn't. I know Amish Paradise is Gangster's Paradise, but the songs just bleed together too much for me.
Yeah. But I really didn't recognize any of the ones that were on this newest album. So.
If you listen to any song from that, listen to Tacky and Word Crimes, because they're both hilarious regardless.
Okay.
And Jack Black's in the video for Tacky, and he's really fun.
We've got another question from Mr. E. Speculations on Captain Marvel.
The DC character or the Marvel character?
I don't know. When you get around to it, Mr. E, let us know which one you want.
Because if it's the Marvel character, Carol Danvers movie, please.
With Katie Sackhoff.
With Katie Sackhoff.
I know it's the go-to casting choice for her, but
I mean,
it's the go-to casting choice for her for a reason.
Yeah. She would be amazing in that role. And if it's the DC Captain Marvel / Shazam, just make a movie, and I'd love to see it.
My question is, what do they call the Wizard now if he's called Shazam? Because the Wizard was called Shazam.
That's true. Why can't they call him Captain Marvel?
Well, they can, but it's just it would be like if Pepsi came out with a new soft drink that was called something Coke.
Well, I mean, like they legitimately can't use the word Coke. I don't know why why DC can't use the name Captain Marvel.
Well, it's just bad marketing.
Maybe,
Because the general public doesn't know the difference. I would have gone with just Captain Shazam then, but
I like that.
at least have Captain in there.
Well, I guess the thing with that character is he would never be able to introduce himself anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if you just call the movie Shazam and say the wizard's name is Shazam, then all he has to do is say the word and transforms. If he tries to introduce himself,
Yeah, exactly. Like, who are you? And then Shazam.
Yeah.
Crap. No, I think you're Billy Batson.
Like, maybe he gets that name in the papers because everyone always hears a giant call Shazam before he shows up and saves people.
Could be. Yeah, I would really like a Shazam movie. But, I mean, that's been the whole problem, too, is, like, the comic itself is called Shazam.
True.
And that's not the name of the character, and people think that the character's name is Shazam anyway because that book is called that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I could definitely see how that's something that'd be hard to pitch to a studio, especially like a marketing team.
Well, especially with the movies, because Marvel has done a lot to build their brand, and people know who they are now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would be like marketing for your competition.
Yeah, exactly. If that list of rumored DC movies is correct, then I know we're getting a Captain Marvel movie and they're going to call it Shazam. I'm just not sure how they'd handle it then.
I don't think that is correct because, I mean, if you look at it, Gal Gadot would be filming this movie currently, then the Wonder Woman one, and then Justice League, like, in a row.
Yeah, there's no way.
And there's not enough breathing room in that schedule for people because they have careers beyond just these characters.
That's true. I almost wish it's true though, because if we get that many DC characters before we've been touching Batman for a few years, I'd be kind of happy.
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
I would love a Flash Green Lantern team-up movie. I think that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, that could easily work. But it's, again, I mean, I guess, like, I get that Smallville was on at the same time as Superman Returns came out, but, you know, it's like, it would be weird to have two different versions of the same character in live action at the same time.
That's true. Although I can't imagine them making a Justice League movie without Flash.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Like they barely got away with it in Justice League War or Origins or whatever the thing is called without Martian Manhunter, but without the Flash, really.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing though is if you look at the lineup of characters who we know are going to be in this cinematic universe, it's Superman, it's Batman. We know that Robin exists in this universe. Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg. That's the Super Friends lineup.
It is. You're right.
So I guess it's doable. I find it funny that, given how dark and gritty they're going with like the most lighthearted. Their lineup is the most lighthearted, lineup from that show.
All I'm saying is, if there's no giant seahorse that Aquaman is riding on, I'm gonna be disappointed. Because there's nothing more badass than a giant seahorse.
Wonder Woman in the Golden Age rode a giant kangaroo.
Well, okay, there we go. We need that.
We need.
Oh,
Well,
awesome.
my whole thing is like the Marvel DC rivalry. I don't really believe in, but
Yeah.
if somebody is going to win, whoever makes a Super Pets movie first, that's who wins. You do Crypto and Super Pets, or I guess Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers on the Marvel side of things. Although I don't know rights-wise who owns that or who owns what, but well,
I feel like
because
it's an unfair advantage because Marvel's got Disney and Pixar with them.
that's what I'm thinking is like that whole concept would make a perfect Pixar movie.
It
Yeah.
would. It would be amazing.
And I imagine if it was not live action, like I don't know what the rights pertain to. Like, is it only live action movies? Because you could have the regular Pet Avengers team up because that has Avengers characters, but it also has some because Lockjaw's from like Fantastic Four and Humans, and what's the other one? Lockheed is Kitty Pryde's dragon who's in it, and X-Men's owned by Fox. So
Well, I don't think they could use those characters then because the rights would cover the likeness of those characters on film.
okay.
The only reason some things were able to get away with it, like Professor X references, is because a bald person in a wheelchair is just really generic.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they'd be able to do some of it, but you'd definitely be able to do like Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Pet Avengers.
Yeah.
We got Big Hero 6 coming out. If that's a success, we might actually get something really fun to really released on direct-to-DVD maybe.
I hope so. I haven't been following the news for that too much, but it looks kind of fun from what I've seen.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the trailer. I just saw like a poster and it looks nice.
We need more fun superhero stuff.
We do. We need a sequel to JLA Trapped in Time.
That needs to be a whole series of movies.
Oh, yeah.
That was easily the best thing they've produced in years.
Oh, yeah. Outside of well, even in comics, actually, it's one of their best things ever.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love it. And they got the guy who voices Prince Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender playing Karate Kid, which was awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Because he's playing such a campy guy in that movie, and he's playing such like a hardened, broody guy in that show.
So are you gonna go blow up the Parliament buildings?
Alex, do you hear the latest King Ghidorah news?
No, I didn't.
Oh, we're getting another movie soon. Apparently they're going to be announcing something in April.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
You're lucky because like I want to see them get Musla off the ground again, because
Yeah.
that could be easily successful.
Yeah. It's been years since we had a King Ghidorah movie. King Ghidorah. Yeah, movie.
Well, and kaiju stuff is coming back in a big way with Pacific Rim and Godzilla. So
Yeah, the Pacific Rim animated series is making headway.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just hope that they keep the World War II reference alive because this is a weird thing. I'm going to be doing a video on the history of King Ghidorah soon.
Oh, cool.
But like, yeah, I'm doing that whole 31 Days of Magpie thing, and like I'm gonna be talking about like answering different questions that I posed to myself, and one of them is the history of King Ghidorah.
Cool.
Because originally King Ghidorah was a science experiment conducted at Ayers Rock. Because and the was weird thing is that it's supposed to be in the King Ghidorah universe. Right underneath Ayers Rock is a secret government lab where they did experiments on Australian animals, and King Ghidorah is one of them. And hang on, I can't say it right. And like Platypina is the one that's done there as well. That's King Ghidorah's first nemesis, so to speak.
Yeah, which is funny because like I never thought that those movies went in that sci-fi of a direction. And you know, King Ghidorah is rooted in more of a sci-fi thing, like you said. You know, the animal experiments and whatnot. And there've been a fair amount of Muslim movies where it was very kind of weird sci-fi, and Muslim's more like a mystical kind of Aboriginal sort of a thing. It's more focused on the magic side of things. But there's been a lot of like aliens show up kind of movies, and he fights them.
Well, the thing is, the guy that originally wrote King Ghidorah was a World War II survivor, and he he was apparently there was some weird things going on with him, and he apparently it's very much similar to how James Cameron had that nightmare about the robot. Apparently, he was having this weird dream one night of a giant kangaroo, and that's how he came up with the idea. And he started writing it right after he came back to help him deal with all the effects of World War II that he was having, because he was in New Guinea during the Second World War.
Oh.
And that's when he wrote it all down. He came back and he started writing, and before he knew it, he had a script. And it was pretty low budget even at the time, so that's why the first one's not that great. But once we got to the last one, which was late '80s, the effects were really good, and it was really great, because that one was really about all the themes of corporate Australia are definitely in there. It's a shame that we haven't had one since '87, I think. They just because that one just didn't do as well. It made its money back and everything, but it just like nothing was really gonna. Crocodile Dundee had come out, I think, by then, and that was really taking Australia by storm, and people really wanted just to see the next Man from Snowy River movie after that too. Like King Ghidorah just had its day in the sun, and this new guy that's sort of come out and started writing the next one. Says it's going to be a completely new thing, all rebooted. But I'm just hoping that we get something really good, because like growing up, that was like one of my favorite things to watch.
Mhm. Steve's rattling cans.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, no, I
It's
get you. I'd like to see, because like there are a lot of good Muslim movies, and I'd like to see it revived and kind of done justice with good special effects.
yeah.
Because like I mean, the one where he like Muslim versus the Sasquatch King, like those costumes look so bad.
Oh,
Um, so it's I don't know. It deserves to be treated right now that we can properly do it.
yeah. There was a point there in the '70s where it was getting ridiculous. There was um, Kangadora versus the Martians. Really dumb because uh, that was '72. In the one before that, '69, the way they were going to get rid of the way they got rid of him in that one was they um, somehow built this giant rocket and let him into it with I forget what it was because you can't keep these Kangadora movies straight. Like there was one where it was all radiation sort of thing, like nuclear
Oh
energy.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that one though was they somehow got um some. I think that was the one where he was eating uranium or something, and they stuck a bunch of that in the rocket and flew it
That's
away.
weird.
And like this is supposed to pick up right after it, and Kangadoras lands on Mars, and he takes on a bunch of Martians. But they end up sending him back or something. That's a bit really weird. Um,
It's like the Hulk.
Exactly
yeah, I guess so.
like Hulk.
Yeah, I kind of
Uh,
like.
Kangradora is strongest there is.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think that was a weird one. That's one like that. That's the one that almost killed the franchise. But
Yeah.
then yeah, then wasn't until like I said, the '80s. It was like just other things that came along and took the attention away from Kangadora.
Well, I can't wait for you to make that video. That sounds really interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just gotta rewatch some of these because, like I said, I gotta keep them all straight. Um,
When Godzilla came out, the new one, the reboot, I actually wanted to get on Godzilla kick and review all the films, but then I didn't like the reboot, so I kind of lost my steam for it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. It's just like I just like with all the build up. I think Bill oversold it to me because I thought I was gonna see um the lizard version of Kangadora, and I didn't see that. Um,
Fair enough. That movie just didn't deliver every time it set something up. I guess was my issue with it. Like you'd have all this building of suspense for this fight and for what Godzilla is, but there's no explanation for where that suspense came from, and there's never any payoff.
My problem
yeah.
was Quicksilver.
Can't act.
Yeah. What's the other character he played? Kick-Ass.
uh,
He was like a cardboard cutout in that movie. Like he
he
was not a
was.
person. And the thing is, Bryan Cranston was like on fire in that movie. He was just awesome. Every scene he just tore it up because he's Bryan Cranston. But it's like,
Yeah.
why would you? Spoiler alert! Kill off that character so early in the movie to shift to the son, who is mud, boring.
Yeah, and I feel like they never even completed Cranston's story, really. They just kind of killed him prematurely as if they didn't have the money to pay for more than a few minutes of screen time.
Yeah. That's the problem. Is like the monster parts in that movie were awesome, but the
Yeah,
human parts were terrible, and that's what's supposed to like pull us through it. Like when as soon as like when they're fighting in San Francisco and there's all the smoke and dust and debris and everything in the air, and you see that boom, boom, boom up the tail, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my Godzilla, it's coming. Um, and then it came, and I was like, that's amazing. And then like later on, they did that again, and it had no impact. There were a couple times in the movie where like Godzilla pulled the same move,
yeah.
and it's like, okay, it was cool the first time I saw it, but it shouldn't be in the same movie twice.
The only scene with Godzilla I really liked was the end when he blasts the Muto into the mouth.
Yeah,
Because that's the only time they ever like showed full on action and made the music and the directing and the hype really build to something that you weren't expecting. I like that scene where all of the soldiers are jumping out of the plane, halo jumping. I think that was a cool scene.
yeah, but that's kind of the problem. Is like there's a lot of interesting visual stuff and kind of cool scenes, but it doesn't come together really.
No, it doesn't. I didn't even have like a problem with what Godzilla looked like. I know a lot of people hated that he was like really fat, but I don't know. I thought it looked fine.
Oh, I think it looked awesome. He looks like Godzilla.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up on Godzilla movies or something, but I don't know. I thought it looked okay. I didn't like the Mutoi's design. I thought that was really generic.
Very Cloverfield.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Um, so hey,
I,
guess what? Hour and a half until Ghost Rider officially airs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, uh,
So,
I am excited about that. It's because it took so friggin' long to make. The fact that it's finally going to be uploaded, you know.
okay. Yeah. I don't. I understand Bill's didn't like the fate design of Godzilla in this movie, the new movie. I understand that because I don't think they got the tail the right length of King Ghidorah in the '89 movie. That
Mm.
it was too short. It wasn't long enough. So I understand wanting everything just right.
yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that they should just go back to wearing costumes and just edit out some of it with CGI to make it look better. What do you think of that?
I'm okay with the
Um,
CGI monsters. Like I thought Godzilla, like VFX wise, looked really, really good.
Oh yeah,
One
I
of
yeah.
the
thought.
better CG movies that I've seen.
Oh yeah, I did too. I just hear like the reason we didn't get so much of them is simply because they didn't have the money to make an entire fight movie with CGI. And if that's the case, then I wouldn't mind going back to costumes.
Well, I don't know. Like the problem, I guess the problem with that movie, in a nutshell, is a good Godzilla movie, particularly the first one, like the first Godzilla movie, should, I guess, to like Jaws, which is the comparison a lot of people made,
Hmm.
not show you the monster full on immediately. You know, build up the suspense towards it. The problem, though, is that if you do that, you need to fill your movie with the human drama. Otherwise, you don't have anything going on. And the
Right.
human drama in that movie sucked. So it's just a movie where it's like boring for parts, and we're like, okay, can we get to the monsters?
Yeah, I mean, it had ideas. It just didn't have any idea how to flesh those ideas out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love the concept that Godzilla is nature's balancer, but where he gets that idea and ultimately what it means or what people think of it is never addressed outside of just saying it.
Yeah, and you cast Ken Watanabe in that role, um, and it's like he just stands around and says cryptic stuff.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
exactly. Um, and I think it would have been really cool if we just had like we followed Bryan Cranston all the way through from his wife's was it his wife? Yeah, his wife's death up until his death, and just have him reason all of that, and then do like a third act with a Godzilla fight. Like if we didn't see him until the very end and it was just following Bryan Cranston and covering what Godzilla is, I would have been okay with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had brought up the really cool idea of although much of the Cold War was just a big cover up to, hide the fact that Godzilla existed and they were trying to take him out.
Yeah.
And that's like the whole conspiracy plot, and that was brilliant. And then they just dropped it like half an hour into the movie, and that should have been the whole movie.
Yeah, they did.
Because then you get to a point where it's like you can't hide it anymore because they're tearing San Francisco apart.
Exactly. But yeah, like Godzilla isn't something that's inherently campy. You can make it very interesting and put a lot of ideas into it. Case in point being the first movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I feel like whoever made this one is trying to do the same thing Zack Snyder's doing with Superman, where they feel like they have to make Godzilla cool without realizing that Godzilla is already cool.
I don't know if I would agree with that, but it was just the human, like, because I feel like they did Godzilla right in that movie. It was just the people that they didn't do right.
Yep.
I'd have to watch it again, I guess, because I feel like just what their concept was of Godzilla wasn't necessarily that inspired.
Also felt like it was kind of a waste to have Juliette Binoche in the movie and then just have her get killed off at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Because she's a great actress, and she hasn't been in a lot of stuff recently.
No, she hasn't. And even acting opposite Bryan Cranston, she did a great job for 15 minutes she was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, a sequel is being worked on right now, so I'm kind of hoping that's good.
Yeah, and we get a decent human story.
Yeah.
I guess my problem with the movie too is like the way that they marketed it was deceptive, in that they marketed it as Godzilla's the villain.
That's true.
He's not. He's the hero in the movie, and that should have been like they could have played it that way in the movie, but that should have been the whole conflict in the movie. Is like, okay, is Godzilla, like, we thought he's a villain all along, but no, really he's a hero. And
yeah, they played it off almost like a reboot or a remake of the original film, and that's not really what it is at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It is more in the line kind of those, like, the Godzilla versus movies.
It is. It's exactly in that. This is a weird thought, but I would love another Godzilla fighting game on a next-gen console.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be. I miss playing as Mechagodzilla.
I need to check out this William Shakespeare Star Wars thing. It looks cool.
Oh yeah, it's pretty awesome. My library has it, and I flipped through the first couple chapters of it. It's fun. It's hilarious in parts.
Cool.
I know there's like 3 of them, all remaking the original films, but I've only seen the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because apparently it's like a whole franchise of William Shakespeare writing pop culture things.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like those pop culture and philosophy books have been popping up everywhere.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's something like that. Yeah, apparently there's one on The Big Lebowski called The Two Gentlemen of Lebowski. A most excellent comedy and tragical romance.
Oh, I did actually know about that one.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know that was a book. I just thought that was an online thing.
Apparently it's a book.
But I remember reading that, and that was fucking awesome. It was so clever, so well done. So.
Okay, well now that you say that, I might actually buy a couple of these because they're relatively cheap.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like $5 for a hardcover complete story. I don't think is bad.
No.
I also like how they Shakespeareanize the titles, like the Jedi doth return and the Empire striketh back.
Well, and then New Hope's like verily a new hope.
That's awesome. Um, you can buy the entire trilogy plus a poster for $30 on Amazon. That's cool.
Hmm.
I might invest in that at some point. Did you guys see the trailer for the new Star Wars animated series?
I did. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Not sure if I did. I don't think I did. I keep hearing stuff about it. Well, when I see something, I'll believe it'll actually happen.
The creative team behind it, I trust, because they did Young Justice. They did Spectacular Spider-Man. They did Gargoyles.
Okay, well, if you go, I was not trusting.
Yeah, they've got a lot of credits. And despite me not liking the second season of Young Justice, they still have a good track record.
Mm.
Alex, have you ever read the Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis?
I haven't. I think the only C.S. Lewis stuff I've ever read was the Narnia books.
Oh, okay. My friend, and it's evidently very Christian apologist, but it's got a lot of cool ideas, so I might check them out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the Narnia books too. I mean, Aslan is just God.
Yeah. Although apparently, like some of these are regarded as some of the best works of Martian fiction. So
Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out then.
yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien had some influence on him too. So I don't know.
Yeah, they were friends, so.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I think I'll check them out. There's a good list of ideas here on Wikipedia. Existentialism and some cosmology.
All right. Next month I want to not do the CFG this weekend. This is what I'd like to do it on. But if we can't, can we do a commentary on it? If not, it's only 100 minutes long.
Tomorrow, yeah, we could do that.
It's my favorite movie, and I want to do something on it the next month.
Cool, we can do that.
Alex, if you don't feel like doing the commentary, that's fine. If Steve, you want to do it, that's fine. It's just my favorite movie, so I want to do something on it.
We could
And
totally.
I'd love to get your guys' opinion on it. Just
When do you want to record it? Like this weekend, or do you want to hold off until next weekend?
if you can't get it watched by this weekend, then that's fine. We can do it next weekend.
Oh no, I think I can. It's just I was wondering what's best for you guys. And I might not be available Saturday, so if you want to do it earlier or maybe on Sunday, I'd be free.
Sunday's fine. If you want to do it Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, I've got like a weird schedule lately, so I'll just message you and let you know if that's
Yeah,
okay.
Alex?
Yeah, I'm game.
Okay. And you'll see why I'm so disappointed that they can't make a sequel to it. Because honestly, like at this point, I wouldn't mind a remake just so that they get an entirely new cast and just keep the series going with a different company. I don't know why they haven't done that.
That would be fun.
Seriously, I just love that movie so much.
Didn't you also want to do like a third list video at some point? Because we did the guilty pleasures, we did the top 5 TV shows. I know we had something else in mind.
I suggested cliffhangers
Oh right, cliffhangers.
and what constitutes a good one. And I wanted to like during that I wanted to conquer like if we mentioned some of our favorite ones, and whether or not the follow up is as important as the setup.
Yeah, that could be interesting because some of my favorite cliffhangers don't have a follow-up.
Like Angel.
Like Angel, like Grant Morrison's End of Batman. I'm trying to think of some other ones, cliffhangers. If we do that, I want to talk about the cliffhanger at Thor: The Dark World because that's something that really bothers me.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd have to watch it again. I got it somewhere.
I've only seen that movie like once since it came out. I didn't enjoy it the first time. I never went back to it.
I don't think I've seen it since I saw it in theater. So.
Yeah. Aside from Loki being hilarious, I don't know if it was that good.
I think I got it. I think I got it on Blu-ray.
I know I bought it when it came out. I just didn't watch it.
I gotta get 300 Rise of an Empire.
Yeah.
Because me and Alex were the only two people that liked that movie.
I remember we guys were doing positive podcasts on it. Same with Transcendence. You're the only two guys who like Transcendence.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I don't know. Like, I didn't think it was a... Like, I don't know that I would like it, but, like, I was able to see the positives of it.
Mm.
Well, I mean, do you agree with everyone saying it's, like, the worst sci-fi movie ever?
No, I don't think that's the case at all. My issue was just... It felt like a kind of average episode of The Outer Limits, but that they just stretched out to be 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
So it feels really padded.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm not sure if you ever watched Oblivion, but that's pretty bad. And I can't imagine Transcendence being worse than that as far as sci-fi movies go in the last few years.
It's just kind of stale and...
These are the worst sci-fi movies ever.
Oh, I don't think they're that bad. They're bad, but not that bad.
Oh, no. Pretty serious, though. No, probably not, but... One of them's only sci-fi.
Going for them or the cast, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Because, like, especially Chris Pine is really well cast.
Oh, yeah. Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto, I think, are really quite good in those roles. And
Carl Urban is really good as Bones.
Yeah, I love him. He's perfectly channeled DeForest Kelly, I think.
Zachary Quinto can't even do that properly. I have to tape up his fingers.
Well, no one in the original series could do it properly except for Leonard Nimoy. They all had to like get their hands ready before shooting and then just pop it up really quick.
But then that's like Leonard Nimoy's Jewish, and that's like a Jewish thing, so...
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like it's not like
practice.
It's a requirement to do that to be in Star Trek, because most of the original cast can't do it.
Mm-hmm. But I can, because I'm a Trekkie.
Yeah.
No one in my family can do it. It's funny. I also like that meme where it's like live briefly and fail.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
So Magpie, did you watch Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
No, those movies I haven't watched the originals and I haven't watched the new ones because I'm just like monkey things aren't really my thing, like comedy or those that like I haven't sat down and watched them, so I kind of want to do that before I start watching.
Well, I mean, you can avoid the originals and just watch Rise and Dawn.
Yeah. I mean, To a certain extent, I think you could just watch Dawn and then see if it's your cup of tea. If not, because if Dawn doesn't convert you, I don't think any of them will.
Mm.
Because the original is really good, but you also have to be open to it. Because there is a little bit of a gap there as far as generation-wise.
Yeah.
I'll have to. I may check it out. I'm not gonna. Like, there's other things I want to see. Like, Expendables 3 comes out soon. I want to see that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Um,
And I have to
Guardian
be.
next Friday. I can't wait for that.
I have to be really careful about the movies I pick to go see, and yeah. So, because I forget what the last thing I saw was. I did the fresh from the cinema on it. No, those are really fun to do. Like, just talk to the camera straight afterwards and try and be coherent about what I think of the movie.
Yeah, it's actually kind of therapeutic to just sit there and discuss something freely without any pressure on you.
Yeah,
Like the Batman 75 video I did yesterday was only supposed to be like 15 minutes, but I really did like talking, so I'm just gonna keep it going.
yeah, I saw it go up the small. Like, saw it go up, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to find time to sit down and watch it, sit down and listen to that.
It's kind of fun. I'm hoping it's something people comment on, because essentially I just go through like different categories and say, what's your favorite Batman for this? Like, who's your favorite Batman artist, or your favorite decision in Batman's history, or favorite Batman run, story arc, movie, actor, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, it was fun to talk about. Norm Brayfogle, I don't get to talk about him very much, so I got to say he's my favorite artist there.
I miss Brayfogle.
I do too. Brayfogle and Lee Bermejo and Dustin Gwynn are my three favorite Batman artists.
I don't know who'd be my top. There's so many good ones.
Yeah, and Neil Adams would be there. I just feel like that's the generic answer, so I didn't say him.
Yeah.
I like Andy Kubert a lot, and I like Tony Daniel a lot.
Um, I didn't used to be as big of a fan of Tony Daniel's art as I am now, but his style has evolved somewhat, and maybe
Yeah.
partially the way that I see it colored nowadays too, because digital coloring has gotten so much better than the early days.
Oh yeah, totally.
It looks really good now. It's like this weird, almost Frank Miller-ish kind of a thing, but like cleaner.
The one picture he did, the one panel that really made me love him, is this one during Grant Morrison's run where it's Batman in his original costume from 1939, and he's sitting in front of a pool of blood, and in the reflection there's Bruce as a kid and a pearl and a gun.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just one of my favorite panels in comics, and I just think it looks beautiful. So that's kind of why I like him so much. And he drew the Batman of Zerdar, and that's just an awesome costume.
um, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know who to pick. There's so many good ones.
Carmine Infinito, if that's how you pronounce it. I really like his Batman.
Oh yeah, because you got the whole kind of like new look thing going
Yeah.
on back in the day.
He's kind of what salvaged a lot of those really bad Silver Age comics.
Yeah, that's true.
Jim Steranko drew Batman for a little while, just for a few panels or a page or two, and those were really good.
Oh, I would like to track that down then.
Yeah, it's fantastic, Jim Steranko's Batman. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, it's awesome too because there's a really great Jim Steranko Bob Kane story.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, so everybody knows. I'm sure everybody knows Bob Kane is evil.
Yeah.
Like, if Bob Kane was in like a comic book, he would be a supervillain. Not a good guy. And apparently he's just kind of a douche to be around too. And they were at some convention or something, and Steranko was like introduced to him, and Bob Kane was like just being a douchebag and like fake like punched him on the face.
Oh wow.
One of those kind of things of like, oh yeah, I'm cool. Um, and then later, Jim Steranko like found him and like bitch slapped him, and Bob Kane like didn't know how to respond and didn't say anything back, and then Steranko just like got out of there. But
Steranko was kind of a badass. Like he did 3 pages of Nick Fury without any dialogue, and the guy at Marvel was like, "I can't pay because he didn't write anything." So he grabbed him by the neck and said, "You're gonna pay me," and he ended up doing it. It was pretty funny.
he seems like real life Nick Fury, kind
Oh,
of.
he's awesome.
Badass and violent.
Yeah, I love Jim Steranko. He's a lot of fun. I opened the chat up so I can send you this link of Steranko's Batman. There we go. Let me know if you get
Okay.
it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's something he did for the 75th anniversary, but there are others.
Oh, neat.
There's not a lot of his kind of expressionist pop art kind of things like he did with Nick Fury.
Hmm.
But if I was to replace Greg Capullo on that Court of Owls issue where Batman goes to the labyrinth, the only artist you could do is Jim Steranko.
Yeah, that's probably true. His style would fit that very well.
Yeah, I almost actually really want Scott Snyder to work with Steranko because I think those two really play off each other well.
I was thinking the other day, because one of the things that you and I have talked about a lot, Steve, is how Snyder's whole shtick is oftentimes writing Grant Morrison stories just differently. Part of my issue with Grant Morrison a lot of the time is it can get very all over the place. And so I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be awesome if Grant Morrison had, like, the story by credit and Scott Snyder did the actual script?
That would be interesting. See, I don't completely agree with this, Morrison being all over the place, though. Just because I know everything he ever does has a very, very direct purpose. But I see what you mean about that. And if Scott Snyder did take over the duties after just based on Morrison's outline, I think it would make for some really interesting storytelling. Because kind of indirectly, Snyder's the reason Grant Morrison's Batman Incorporated ended as early as it did.
Oh,
And it's
really?
why it got the ending that it did. And Grant Morrison isn't upset about that, neither am I or anything. But like, if Scott Snyder didn't write Batman, then Morrison's Batman might have had a very different ending.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that whole Grant Morrison saga for Batman is that should have just been All-Star Batman.
Maybe so.
Or just All-Star Batman and Robin, I guess, because he did introduce Damian in that. And the whole Batman Inc. thing seems like the natural conclusion to the character in a lot of ways.
Because at the end of Return of Bruce Wayne, Batman has this epiphany, which has been one of Grant Morrison's guiding lights in the run, which is Batman is never alone. He's never been alone, and even from the very origin of like year one and stuff, no matter how alone you try to depict him, he's not. Because there's this repeated symbolism of the bell. And when you get to the end of Return of Bruce Wayne, you realize the bell is the bell that calls Alfred at the end of year one. And how Bruce would have died that night if he didn't ring the bell and get Alfred to stitch him up. So the whole mentality behind Batman Incorporated is that if you get a bunch of Batman out there and you get Batman to not isolate himself and work with other people, you can enculturate people to be heroes the same way you can enculturate them to be violent through media. And that was kind of the point of Incorporated. But then New 52 happened, and everyone started writing like really dark and gritty detective Batman. And Morrison was like, well, I guess you really can't change Batman for very long, and he just kind of did that again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is like what he did derailed what other people were doing, and then other people came in and derailed what he was doing, so it didn't get a proper conclusion, and
yeah,
it's just a big mess.
I almost wish what would happen is like we had like a 60-issue sprint where Grant Morrison has that many issues to write one story the same way we have internal. Like Scott Snyder could have 60 issues in Eternal, Grant Morrison gets 60 issues in something, Dini gets 60 issues in something, but we don't have them all writing the same time and forcing each other out.
Mm-hmm.
Because Paul Dini was doing amazing stuff before Grant Morrison forced him out.
Yeah,
And
he
that's
was.
his Detective was some of the best detective comics I've ever read.
It's really good.
And he had that whole ongoing Streets of Gotham and Gotham City Sirens, and those were both great books.
Mm-hmm.
Steve,
Hmm?
did you get a chance to see this?
An Adventure in Space and Time. No, I did not.
Ah, very good. Check it out.
I will actually. I wrote that down because I think you did tell me about that before.
Yes, it's very good.
Yeah, I
Also-
remember us discussing that, and maybe last time we talked about Buffy.
Because yeah, that's Buffy's gonna take a while.
That
Do
one.
my best to track down Dollhouse because that had an interesting premise. That's the most I can say about it.
If you can hold off on Dollhouse as much as possible, that'd be great. Because I actually want to like get more studying done in philosophy before I sit down and watch that show again. Like I want a couple of years of experience in the subject matter before I watch that series.
Okay.
Because the first time I saw it, I was just like, "This is a really good idea, but I don't know what they're doing with it."
Yeah. Um, I'm not in a rush to buy it. I haven't seen it anywhere. So, but once I do, I'm gonna have to get hold of it.
Okay. Because Cap really loves it, and I could never understand what he saw in it. So I don't know. I guess if I give it some time.
Mm. Cap loves a lot of things.
He does. He also hates a lot of things, and those are always funny.
Oh, yeah.
Alex, I'm not sure if you saw Dawn of the Planet of the Apes review that he did, but apparently Brandon didn't like that movie very much.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought that would be like up his alley.
Yeah. I know I've seen a couple people who didn't really care for it, but I just didn't really buy their reasons.
Yeah, I haven't seen a legitimate complaint with that movie aside from some of the humans being a little bit less developed, and that I agree with. But more than that, I really don't see much.
Yeah, that doesn't ruin the movie by any means.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not about the humans as much as it's about what the apes are saying about the humans.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and that seems a little counterintuitive because you have the apes, because you have the humans in there. But I don't know, it works.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
there is a Planet of the Apes and Philosophy book by that pop culture and philosophy franchise. I might actually track that down and read it, see if it's any
Oh,
good.
interesting.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of those, and they're actually pretty fascinating. The Game of Thrones one, I think you'd really enjoy if you read that.
Oh no,
Oh,
I
Steve,
haven't.
Because it goes all the way back to like 1500s and those kind of sensibilities, and what obligations meant at the time. So I think you'd enjoy that.
Cool.
when's the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones? Because that's apparently a big deal.
Season 3, I think, right?
End of season 3. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. I'm only finished watching season one. That didn't win me over, but Breaking Bad did, so I want to probably watch some more after I finish this season of Clone Wars.
uh,
Um, and watch some more Doctor Who. I'll watch some more Breaking Bad.
if we all catch up on Game of Thrones, I'd love to do some kind of discussion on it because I still haven't seen it, and I really want to at this point.
Oh, I'm caught up.
Yeah.
So
Well, when does the new season premiere anyway? Like this fall or next summer? Or
not till next year. The most recent one just wrapped up a couple months ago. So
we'll review together?
See what I can do because um I've still got this of Sequest to finish watching off. I still haven't sat down and watched it because I've been watching other stuff. But
Okay.
and I can go out and buy Game of Thrones, but I just don't want to.
That's fair enough. Those DVDs are expensive.
Hmm.
Yeah, and if it's not something I really want, I'm not going to buy it. Oh, the second season of Continuum just became available. I've noticed that.
Um, I want to watch that, and I still want to watch True Detective. I have that for the first season. I just haven't watched it yet.
Oh, I actually recently watched the first season. I watched it all in a night, and it was incredible.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. I think what you told me about it is that it starts because Matthew McConaughey's character is kind of a pessimist, but at the end of the day, the series is more optimistic than that.
Yeah, and that's the really interesting thing. Um, is ultimately it is optimistic,
Um,
and we just sort of I don't know, we see a change in his character, which is neat.
okay, because I saw like the first maybe 15 minutes of the first episode, and I remember Matthew McConaughey's character getting into like how he hates everything really, and I remember
Hmm.
thinking it was such a generic pessimism that I didn't care for it.
Well, it's not. They fleshed out more kind of as time goes on. So,
Yeah, I'm sure. It's not really fair of me to say I didn't like it because I only saw 15 minutes.
mhm,
But I will actually sit down and watch all of it at some point. I just need some free time.
yeah, it's good. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I hope they get Colin Farrell for the second season, like they're hoping.
Yeah, because it's gonna be like each season is gonna be a completely different story with completely different characters. So,
Yeah, it's gonna be like American Horror Story in that respect.
yeah, so I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too. Because it just sounds like an interesting premise, and I've read some people's takes on it, and apparently, it's extremely deep. So I can't wait to
Oh, yeah, it
dive
is.
into it.
It's one of those things that I wouldn't even feel comfortable talking about until I saw it like maybe 4 or 5 times because there's a lot in there.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely sit down and watch it. Maybe this weekend when I finish some of my Ghost Rider stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be
That's
fun.
taking up a lot of your time.
Yeah, man, Ghost Rider's taking up all of my time. All I can think about these days are flaming skulls. It's just not right. My math notes are just littered with fiery skulls and chains. It's insane.
That's at least exciting.
It is exciting. I feel like at any minute I'm just gonna spontaneously combust and some weird demon's gonna take over me. It's great. And he'll have a name that I can't pronounce, and he'll just run around staring at people, and guys are gonna be like, "Hey, that's a really good cosplay," and then I'll rip their faces off. Speaking of, we're at what the 50-minute mark, 48-minute mark of Ghost Rider's first episode going on air.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't even mean to keep talking about it. And I'm sorry. It's just like it took so long to make.
No, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I hope you like it. I changed the music out from what the version you saw, and I added
Okay.
a little "Beware the Batman" logo at the end of it. That's like my new stamp, I guess.
Oh, cool. Um,
Yeah.
oh, that reminds me, I do need to send you something on Skype sometime. Because I have that Ghost Rider movie font.
Oh, you
Um,
do?
yeah, so I could send that to you. Maybe you could use it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, thanks. Because I've just been using like Paint to type stuff up on my cards.
Hmm.
Um,
Um, I always look for stuff on dafont.com. They've got all kinds of free fonts there and ones that mimic all sorts of like logo fonts and stuff. So
oh, okay,
very
yeah, that'd
handy.
be great. Because fonts are definitely important. I can't ever get anything that's just right for some of these episodes. Like I've got this really plain, almost Comic Sans look, and it just doesn't seem right.
Uh,
Default.com. I'm on here right now, seeing what I can find.
there, I linked you.
Oh, okay. A new message. Sweet. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna download this then. This is nice.
probably be good for like, headers or titles or whatever.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah, it could also help with my transitions when I write like next time or whatever.
Mhm.
Instead of me having to like color in the letters, if they just have a good style to them, it'll be easier. Oh, they've got a
Um,
Daredevil font. I really want that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
you guys want to know what I'm reviewing for the WITR next time?
Sure.
The cookie jar behind me, the TARDIS one.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
I'll figure out I can do that in 2 minutes.
Probably.
I hope if you get into the contest, the first challenge isn't review a food container.
That was so weird when I reviewed food, and the first thing was food. It's like, why?
Well, because one season that was the first challenge is they had to review food, and then my season was you had to review a package. So
Well, the reason I felt I didn't get in on that one was honestly it was a bad review, and I was trying to do something way too big in too short of a time. I spent way too much time on assembly, and if I just picked like an object, it would have been easier. Yeah,
Mhm.
honestly, that's all I had to do.
I remember on your season, Alex, you had to review like a shopping experience, and you had a clip on there of you like weightlifting. And Cap's like, I know you're like really exaggerating, but you commented, no, that was you weightlifting.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, he said something to the effect of like me portraying an exaggerated version of me or something. I was like, no, that's actually me.
I was thinking. I remember they were really like overthinking your review a little bit.
Yeah, um, which is kind of funny because my review is sort of overthinking the shopping experience, but
It was.
um, that was weirdly one of the hardest
Yeah,
challenges to do.
It seemed like it. Like I don't know what someone would say reviewing a shopping experience.
Yeah,
Um,
well, it's just kind of the typical of like customer service was good, and it's like I don't find that interesting.
yeah.
So I had to kind of twist it to make it be more about shopping kind of in general and how my specific experience was reflective of the sort of general experience.
Yeah, and you can't get into too many specifics because no one else is going to have the same experience as you per se. So you do have to just kind of review going to a store in general.
Well, and I mean time limits too. That's the really tough part of the contest is um especially well, I think it was both my submission for the contest and my first challenge one. I had to cut those in half.
Oh wow.
Um yeah, like the the review that I wrote for the first thing I ever reviewed, which was issue 2 of Peter Cannon Thunderbolt, which is my entry for the contest. Uh, it was like clocked in at like 4 minutes recorded, and 2 minutes was the limit. So I was like, crap, what can I excise from this that isn't necessary?
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. When I did that wrestling match one, I was just like,
I actually didn't think
that's
that review was too bad.
Yeah, I like that one. Um,
really, you
when
didn't
is
think I
Cap
was
doing
getting
it this
one.
year though? Because I think it'd be fun if you entered.
I feel I gotten better. Like that. Ian told me he didn't like that one. He was like, I just couldn't figure out why you were doing that. Like, now, now I just pick the object and go with it. That'll be much easier. And if it's something Doctor Who related, I think it will work better.
Yeah, just got it going in your wheelhouse of reviews. Might make it a bit easier.
Yeah, I could do something. Like the problem is like if I was to do a wrestling match again, it would be like too. Thing is like if I was gonna do it, I have to like reviewing a match can be like really quick, but like explaining to someone who has no idea what a typical wrestling review would look like, I'd have to explain why everything in it is there and what works about that and what doesn't. So,
Right. Well, that'd probably be better for more like the longer challenges, but like for an entry, maybe a Doctor Who review, since all the judges really are just sci-fi fans, and that might be simpler and
yeah.
quicker. Um,
Too bad I haven't got the judge in my pocket this time.
Well, you know, if I am able to ever judge, maybe.
Yeah, because I know Aaron Dicer might be too busy, so you might get pulled in for it.
I know I've heard both. Like, I've heard Cap said he was too busy, and then, like, he said, no, he's not going to be too busy, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, hopefully you get there, because it'd be fun to be on that end of the criticism pool.
Yeah, I really just want to know what that experience is like, to be on the other side of it.
Yeah, certainly. I might send, if they do start the show soon, I might like send them like $100 gift card or something to give to the winner.
Yeah, I'd like to contribute something, because obviously that whole show did a lot for me.
Yeah, exactly. I know he asked me to enter back when he first started the show, but I didn't because at that point I was already talking to Cap, and I felt like it'd be unfair.
Yeah.
I never got a chance to even try out, but I kind of wish I did in retrospect, just because I think it'd be fun to see what the criticisms are ultimately.
Yeah, you get a lot of really good feedback, and that's the good part of the show, is it's like a crash course in how to do reviewing.
Yeah, like you kind of started your thing off of the show, so you knew exactly where to go and where not to, and that certainly helped a lot.
Yeah, it's just a 2 minute time limit. I understand why it's there, because if they get it like a gazillion reviews they're going to go through, they're going to want to keep it to a minimum.
Well,
I mean, it's also just a good test to see if you can do a full review of something in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's almost like the trailer idea, where you can pitch yourself in 2 minutes on a subject matter, then you are probably good enough to keep going with it with harder challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like that same mentality of if you can run a presidential campaign and win, then you are probably good enough to be president. Which is sadly the logic of presidential elections here. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I still don't get how your system of government works.
Yeah, it's built on the idea.
The answer is it doesn't. So.
It's hilarious. Like, people always complain about how slow Congress is and how slow the government is, but we designed the government to be slow on purpose with the whole Madisonian model. It's just funny to think about all of it. And then just how contradictory and how many weird loopholes you have because there's so many laws in one area. Like, it gets to the point where you just abolish every law and make one because there's so many stacked on top of each other.
It's like there's too many checks and balances. To the point where nothing can get done.
Yeah. Case in point, campaign finance. It gets to the point where numbers seem arbitrary, and you don't know why the law is there in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, they recently overturned a rule, like, someone can't contribute more than, I think, like $125,000. And they overturned it because what makes $126,000 any worse than $125,000?
Yeah, I think the most you can donate to a political campaign here in Canada is like $1,200.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we really put a limit on that.
I mean, there's degrees of like who you contribute to and how much you contribute over a year and stuff like that, but that's getting into way too many specifics that I haven't learned about yet or that I haven't forgotten.
I still say anyone that wants to pursue a political career should automatically be disbarred from actually doing it.
Well, that's the thing. If you look at tribal societies, they're totally skeptical of people who want power. And that's the thing, is like, people who want power are not the people who should have power. So really government should work like jury duty, where it's a lottery and basically like they pick names out of a hat and you have to go do it for a year.
But then there's also the people that do have visions for what they want to do. Like Woodrow Wilson wanted to be president ever since he was a kid, and ultimately his idea, while being way too idealistic to realize, it was a good idea. And had he the opportunity or more power to do it, it wouldn't have been a bad thing.
Mhm.
That's fair, but I mean, you could get people who have visions in other positions of power where they're the people who are, introducing ideas and stuff to the people who actually do the legislation.
Yeah, that's true. And I agree with what you're saying, like about a lottery system making everything kind of like jury duty, because being a politician is supposed to be a public service,
Exactly.
at least in
And
theory.
yeah, in theory, and it's
Like
not really
when,
that way.
yeah,
It's a way to
exactly.
make money later in your career.
They make it so that if you're an incumbent in Congress, it's almost impossible to lose the election unless there's a scandal of some kind. And
Mm.
when the Congress was originally designed, it was meant to only be like a 2-year thing. You're not supposed to sit there for years and climb the ranks.
Yeah.
But that's ultimately what happened to it.
Yeah. That's what I don't get. What's the difference between these certain levels of government over there? Like we have it's pretty easy to understand the prime minister system out here.
Well, the check and balances system is easy too. I guess it just depends on how much you've learned as you're younger. Like I'm sure if I lived in Australia since a kid, I could probably do prime minister way better than I can do checks and balances, and vice
Mm.
versa. Um, the idea is basically you've got the House of Representatives with representatives from every state, and you've got the Senate with representatives from every state. The House does mainly budget stuff, subcommittees, keeping a check and testing out laws to see if they work. If they can get it to work, they send it up to the Senate. They hash it out and make sure it's consistent with what they got before and the results. They send it to the president. President and the judicial branch make sure it's constitutional, sign it into law. But
O-
then politics comes in, and that whole system just goes out of whack.
Okay, it sounds very similar to
It's not that different from parliamentary democracy.
yeah,
No, it's
Parliament.
not. What the parliament has over it, though, is like if you win the election here, it's just whoever wins gets it. In parliament, it's percentage wise. So, like, if 53% goes to one party, then 53% of the seats go to that party.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately a better idea, I think.
Well, yeah, and the thing too is we don't have a separate executive branch, so it's not like you can get in a situation in the presidential system where you have a president who's elected to say one party, and you could have both uh, the House of Representatives and the Senate in the states mostly formed of the other party, and nothing will get done. Whereas, whoever's the prime minister in a parliamentary system, they're the prime minister because they're the leader of whatever party got the most votes. So the whole idea is like, okay, the reason that you can form a government is because you can actually get shit done.
Yeah, and you can still have a majority without having an overwhelming one. Like here,
Mhm.
you can have the opposite problem of what you're talking about with like a super majority, where the president can pass whatever he wants because everyone's from his party in
Yeah.
both the Senate and in the House. With that system, you could have like say 10% to a party, and every other distribution is like 1%. So there's still a huge diverse opinions, but no one's completely encapsulating everyone else because 10%, 1% isn't that big of a difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it can sort of work that way here because, like, you can have a majority government, which means you have enough, assuming everybody in your party is sufficiently whipped and are voting along party lines, you can pass whatever legislation you want because you have the majority of votes in the House. Um, but you can also form a minority government just because we have more than two parties. So
Right.
it's just whoever has the most, but they don't have over 50%.
Yeah, we had more than two parties as well, and that's why not the previous government was only able to form their um, government by including some of these minor parties.
Coalition government, yeah. That's
Yeah.
mostly how it seems to work in Europe. Is they're all like coalition governments.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. The thing was that the Labour Party didn't have enough to form government, and neither did the Liberal Party. But the Labour Party was able to form government because they were able to make an agreement with the Greens and a couple of these other independents that got in. But
Hmm.
there was like it was 49.99%, so it was like still able to form government. They had more than the Liberal. They were able to negotiate better than what the Liberal Party was able to do. Then, unfortunately, everyone panicked because of this carbon tax thing, and the Labour Party got thrown out, and now we got this backwards, um, right-wing, crazy people.
Yeah, that's the thing we're pointing out in the Liberal government in Australia is actually they're actually conservatives.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of a like a history thing, really.
well, I mean, it's possible to be so liberal that you are conservative and so conservative that you are liberal because it works on a spectrum.
Yeah. Well, the way the parties were formed, I think it's mainly
Well, because it's the same as like in England, right, where like the Liberal Party just sort of stopped existing in a way, and then like Labour became big, but Labour were social democrats, but then they moved more towards the center over time. And I'm assuming it's sort of the same situation where I guess at one point in Australia, Conservative Party like disappeared, and those people moved into the Liberal Party.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's how it is everywhere, though, right? Because when you're in primary season or when you're just trying to move up the ranks of your own party, you have to preach to the higher ideals of the party. But when you're in the general public and you're trying to get elected versus other parties, every candidate always moves towards the middle.
Mhm.
Like with rare
well,
exceptions, like maybe like President Reagan or like Lincoln or something, it's really hard to find any president or any head of state that's completely aligned with their party alone by the time they get elected.
Yeah.
well, the way I heard it was okay. The business people formed the Liberal Party over here, then the working class sort of formed the Labour Party over here, and that's how it sort of
Oh,
came about.
interesting.
And then now it's sort of become like the Liberal Party sort of like become like the Republicans because they're all in line with these right wing Christian parties. And the Labour Party though is friendly with the Greens and a couple of these other minor parties. Like you wouldn't believe some of the parties that we have. It's because the form is like this long.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, yeah, we have a fair amount, but as far as the
Oh, that's for the
amount
Senate.
that's
Though, right? That's for the Senate. The little ones for the um, lower house or whatever it is.
yeah, House of Commons.
Yeah,
Um,
sort of thing.
and we only have 4 parties sitting in federal parliament here, and one of them is only made up of one member, one MP. So,
That's hilarious.
yeah, it's Green Party. So,
Yeah, that was what happened over here. That one of the Greens got in. Like I don't know if they're still in. It was like in Melbourne or something. They got in.
mm,
I remember
yeah.
here there was this really fun election in like 1908, where it was Democrats and Republicans, but the Republicans split and they had like the Republicans and the Bull Moose
Oh, the Bull
Party.
Moose Party. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how Woodrow got elected because there were split votes there. And they're saying the same thing could happen in 2016 with Republicans again, with like the Tea Party and Republicans versus the Unified Democratic Party.
Interesting, because I kind of thought that the whole Tea Party thing was dying down.
It is certainly, but there's enough members of that party with a voice to where they could make a comeback come election season because no one in the Republican Party is unified yet.
Mm.
Like Democrats, for better or for worse, have all rallied behind Hillary Clinton. So if she tries to run, no one's going to oppose her.
Yeah.
And again, like it or hate it, she has the best voice for foreign policy of anyone in the U.S.
Well, and to be blunt, regardless of what you think of her, she's easily the most qualified person to ever run for that office. Because
Yeah,
she's done
effectively,
every
she's
other
been president
job.
twice.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Republican Party, they didn't even believe in Mitt Romney when he was running.
No.
They had to wait until the national convention before they even said, "Yeah, we could see this."
Well, it's just a case of everybody else shot themselves in the foot, so he was what was left.
Yeah, and even him, he shot
And then
himself in
even
the
he
foot.
did it, yeah. With the whole 47% thing or whatever that was.
Yeah, exactly. And sure, there's a bunch of other parties here too, like we're with you guys, but only two parties here have any money,
Yeah, yeah.
which is kind of an issue because the whole partisanship is the only reason governments don't work in general, because people are too allied with their group and not enough with the general populace.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, I don't necessarily agree with either what every party does.
Yeah,
In,
exactly.
like the healthcare system is in here is crazy. Like when I went into hospital, right? Um, I had like a blanket and that was like really thin, and that was about it. To cover me. I'm surprised I didn't have pneumonia when I left because it was like it was still summertime, but like the floor was cold, and it was like stone or whatever. I forget what like it wasn't carpeted.
Mm.
Okay, so the cold air was coming up. I was like, good God! And then like they mentioned that like it's because of the budget cuts in the healthcare system. I'm like, good God! I didn't realize it was so bad. Like, and the main reason I don't vote for the Liberal Party is because they, like I told you, Alex, they punish the minority by punishing the majority, like
Mm.
people scamming the benefit system. So they say um, uh, the prime minister now, he's done all this crazy shit, like increased the retirement age to 65. And I'm thinking, who wants to work past 60, regardless of how healthy they are? Who really wants
Retirement,
to?
yeah, the retirement age is 65 here.
Yeah, but
But, I agree.
like, is that the majority? If the majority of people know, yeah, it's
I don't
ridiculous.
know. The whole concept of retirement frightens me because retirement is just I've made enough money that I can not have to work until I die.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's the kind of life that I want to have.
It's the social security system. Sorry, like, it's. I'm thinking, like, there's so many things wrong with that.
Well,
Like,
a lot of
I
times.
think gradually,
Sorry, go ahead.
like, I'd understand gradually. I was going to say, I understand gradually increasing it, but it's gotten to the point, like, yeah, you might be alive, but it doesn't mean you're necessarily past 60, but it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be in the best of health past 60, like, healthy enough to work. Like, you could be taking a lot of medication, you could be your legs and all that might not be up to snuff. And besides, a lot of people change jobs like every 7 years. Who's going to want to hire a person at 58?
Hmm.
Really? I'm just like when I read that, I was like, this guy is nuts. And that's why there's a petition online now for him to call for election so we can kick him out. uh, like he's stuffed up worse than John Howard. That's his predecessor, by the way.
Okay.
The last guy that was in. Um, he made the mistake of not quitting while he was ahead.
Hmm. Well, the recent provincial election here in Ontario went quite well, because the Progressive Conservative, and they're not a Progressive Conservative party, because they're not anything like the Bull Moose Party. Um, they're conservative. That's just what the party's called. Um, the guy who led them, he stepped down now. He's an idiot. I've always thought he was an idiot. And then he kicked off the election campaign by saying, you know, I want to save all this money. And none of his math made any sense, but by firing 100,000 public sector employees. So who kicks off an election campaign by saying, I want to put 100,000 people out of work? And yeah,
No, there's 100,000 votes you're not going to have immediately.
yeah, they got shellacked. And the thing that was really interesting is there are all sorts of unions and groups and stuff that don't normally get involved in elections, and they all came out and said, I don't care who you vote for, but don't vote for them because they're crazy. So things went well. But the thing that was so interesting about it was part of the reason that there was a provincial election. Well, we have fixed election dates now in the province, but part of the big issue, even if we didn't, there would have been an election called, because there have been a lot of scandals and stuff that went on. And the woman who's currently premier, when she had a lower ranking job in the government, did some somewhat shifty things, or claims to have not known about them, and if that's the case, then she wasn't doing her job. So it's like it was a government that was racked by scandal and very easily could have been taken out, and then they just completely, shot themselves in the foot.
Mm. This guy that we got in power, I never thought he was good. But everyone he's a terrible public speaker. But apparently he had some great ideas, and I'm like, no. The one that I wanted to vote for, he had at least he was coming across as competent and had an idea in place. One of the first things he was going to do was one of the things he wanted to do. He was fix the internet so it would work properly out here, and I thought that was a brilliant idea. We can we can catch up with the rest of the world because our internet here is nearly might as well be a third level, a third world level internet, and I thought, well, this guy's clearly looking to the future, and one of the other things he was going to do was finally legalize gay marriage across the board.
Because didn't you guys have that and then lose it again?
Yeah, I think we did, and one or in the ACT, and then they I don't know what actually happened was it was illegal, then it was legal for a day or so, and then it was illegal again.
Oh, that's weird.
So, yeah, it was a weird, tricky thing that happened. I think they had to do a vote to to take it away again. It was one of those weird things that happened.
Well, at least you guys are unified and things like that, because here marriage is a state level issue and not a federal one. So the Supreme Court can mandate everyone to have gay marriage, but every state is up to them to vote on it and decide whether or not they want to do it. Marijuana is still illegal in the entire country by federal law, but 2 states can legalize it because the bureaucracy is too slow to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the thing is a lot of things that are legal in the ACT that aren't around the rest of the world, around the rest of the country. Sorry. like weird things. Like
Hmm.
for a while there, like X-rated movies were like that's where they like one of the only places they could be sold or something. I forget how it works, but like
Sounds
something
weird.
like yeah, something it was like something like that, and then eventually it was spread out. I remember hearing that somewhere, and I'm like, hang on, I can just go down the street here and buy it.
Yeah.
I think there was like I think marijuana was legal there at some one stage. Um,
Mm.
yeah,
It's gonna
like I
be
think that
here after the next election. 'Cause
Well, it has to be at this point, right?
the the Liberal Party is gonna win the next federal election. Like I don't see in any way how the Conservatives could win the election, and part of their platform is they are going to legalize it. So um, that's good at least.
well,
We've had same-sex marriage here since 2006. Um, Across the board. Denmark's had it since the 80s, apparently.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's.
yeah,
I mean, those countries are very progressive over there, but like I didn't even think. Like I could have thought, okay, maybe 90s, but
Well, like countries like that think about things in very basic terms of what the good thing to do is, so complex ideas come naturally to them. Like here, when you're driving and you open your door and you don't look for like a bicyclist or something and you hit them. But like in Sweden and Switzerland and Denmark, they train drivers to open the door with their left hand because they're on the opposite side. So they have no choice but to look out for other people. So
um,
just simple ideas like that breed them to care about other people. And then ultimately decisions like gay marriage or marijuana are based on what's good for everyone and logic and not conservative value or liberal value.
I think part of Yeah, I think part of those countries' success is they just have a very pragmatic view of the world. Like
Yeah,
the United States and France and England all have had some form of revolution at some time that was very ideological. And so that's very much ingrained in the culture. And these other cultures are more built on just pragmatism and doing things. So,
yeah. Like every time someone challenges a position in American politics or just America in general, we deface it as an attack on ideology when
mhm,
it's really not. It's just an attack or a debate in philosophy and in practice. Um, like just because another country doesn't like the U.S., it's not because the U.S. has democracy and everyone's free. It's for something more complicated than that.
yeah.
But we don't market that kind of thinking. We don't market that kind of debate, which is why the general populace has this weird view of Americans as either extremely ignorant or too smart for their own good because we don't show them anything in the middle.
Hmm.
yeah. Um, uh, I don't know. I don't know if this is 100% true, but it's come across in your media that anyone that they think that people see as smart, they automatically dismiss as well as being um, what is it, snobbish or
There's a
something.
lot of really weird anti-intellectualism in North American culture.
There is.
Yeah. Um, that's and to me that's like really weird. Why wouldn't you appreciate someone who
Well, we're kind of getting to
thinks?
this point, even though it's extremely slow, where we're kind of shifting to more intellectual culture. Like secular religion or religious ideas have become bigger over the past few years. And atheism has grown not because people are anti-religion, but because people are thinking about the ideas behind religion more. Um, so maybe that's something that's changing, and at least like in pop culture and what people are indoctrinated with, it's become more intelligent than it has been in the past few years. So maybe that's on the verge of changing, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it for at least 50 years.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. Like, I'm just surprised at how backwards looking it is sometimes. Like, anytime there's someone in power, media things criticize them. Well,
Yeah.
it's the way things are. It's the way the last prime minister initially got into power was really weird and bizarre. There was no actual election. It's just like there was a change in the leadership of the party. Therefore, she automatically got put in as prime minister. But that she didn't move into the prime minister's house until she was actually elected.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it was a really weird way for us to get our first female prime minister.
Well, that's how we got our first one too, Kim Campbell, and she was not. Well, she wasn't prime minister for very long, but yeah, it was just there was a change in the party leadership, and she's the one who won the leadership of the party, so she got to be prime minister.
Yeah, this one wasn't prime minister for very long either. And I can see why, like, because she had to form government the way she had to come up with the carbon tax, and they recently repealed that, except there's like the Senate wanted to put some conditions on its repeal. I don't know. I can't remember whether that was successful or not. Because Clive Palmer and his party wanted to do that.
Mm.
He stated that at a press conference with Al Gore, which was really interesting.
Al Gore as president would have been interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
That guy kind of washed his career down the drain, though, after he didn't win. Because he could have done a lot if he stood up in 2004 and won.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Like he really should have stuck in the game.
Yeah, he should have, because no one was going to vote for John Kerry.
No,
that guy just looks sleazy.
Yeah. I was hoping he would get in because George Bush was just crazy.
I don't know how he got elected twice.
Well, he maybe only did it one time.
Yeah, that's true. Well, even that, like, given the events of his first term, I don't know how he got elected at all.
Mm-hmm.
Started, 2 wars?
Like, 2 wars that don't make sense just conceptually. Like, the whole idea of war on terror, his presentation, his doctrine of it, it's something that doesn't make any kind of sense, and we still voted for it. Like,
you can't fight an idea. Well, it's like it's not even the war on terrorists. It's like it's the war on terror, and it's like you can't fight an idea.
Well, yeah, exactly. But he stakes ideas in people that he thinks like just because a terrorist comes from one
Ideas are bulletproof.
I knew that was coming.
We should do a commentary on V for Vendetta at some point. That'd be fun.
Oh, I love that movie. I gotta read the comic, but I love that movie.
You might not like the movie after reading the comic.
Yeah, because the comic's so much better.
The comic is very in depth, and the movie is just way too specific about Bush in general.
Well, that's the problem is it takes what is a very serious exploration of 2 very opposing political ideologies, anarchism and fascism, and that's what it's about. Explores those, and the movie is just sort of a thinly veiled allegory for the Bush years.
Yeah, and the movie isn't even really anarchism.
No, it's not, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and I can't say like that it's a bad movie per se.
No, like it's okay. It's just in comparison to the original thing that it's based on.
Because V has really good ideas. Um, but what they make him do, and ultimately what they're saying about his point of view versus the government he lives in, doesn't hold together the way it does in the book.
Hmm.
Because he does some pretty morally ambiguous and almost evil things in the graphic novel. But in that, you can buy it as ideology. You can buy it as motivations and fuel for his political agenda. And that's something that doesn't show in the film.
Well,
Like
I
when,
would disagree with that somewhat. I think he does do some morally questionable things in the film because they still have the whole thing of shaving her head and torturing her.
oh yeah, they have it. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't work the same way.
No, you're right. It doesn't.
Like they have it there, but like everything he does with Eve, and or Evie or whatever her name is,
Yeah.
everything they do with her and that whole sequence where she's kind of shaved and tortured and interrogated, it comes off almost like a dream sequence in the movie, and
Hmm.
it doesn't have the kind of the political and character weight it does in the novel.
It doesn't have like in the book. It's like a gut punch.
Yeah, yeah.
You really feel it, and then the movie, yeah, it is more flighty and just sort of in her head, kind of.
Yeah, for most of it, I wasn't even sure if she really was awake. It was just filmed strangely, and it didn't have the character motivation behind it to make it work the same way.
What is that movie rated?
On like IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes.
No, I just mean like, is it rated R?
Like MPA rating. Okay. I think it's rated R. Yeah.
Okay, because I was just kind of curious as far as what their rating was of what they would be able to actually portray from the book.
Um, Let me look it up right now, actually, because I'm curious about that.
Because I definitely would like to do a commentary on that movie.
Yeah, me too. It's something that you could really dive into.
You want to know what's right over here?
Sure.
MA 15 plus.
Okay, then it's
Oh,
got to be like rated R here. Just from that.
oh, I thought that would be like the equivalent of PG-13.
No.
Um,
Um,
well, America has a tendency to like rate things higher than they deserve.
MA is the equivalent to PG-13 over here.
Oh
And you
yeah,
know,
it is rated R.
Yeah, it is R. Oh, weird. I would have
Yeah.
thought it would be way more brutal.
you know why that works over here? Because 13-year-olds can't just walk into an M-rated movie over here.
I remember sneaking to theaters as a kid. Good times.
Yeah, I know. It's just things. I think we adopt what's known as the European system. I think that works way better than the American system.
Well, yeah, because if there's some different sensibilities, like the whole culture of nudity is completely different in Europe than it is here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a big thing because it makes something that should be very natural unintentionally raw and unintentionally mature.
Well, the thing is, nudity doesn't imply sexuality.
It doesn't, no. And we kind of give it that idea by making it more mysterious than it is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, and you can see that with like British comic book writers because they have a completely different sense of what nudity is, and the reason their works seem so kind of highbrow and so edgy is because Americans didn't use that much nudity before.
Yeah, that's the thing that I kind of wonder too, is like looking at that whole, wave of British talent who wrote all those books and drew all those books. Um, to them, it probably wasn't nearly as risque as the people reading it here in North America thought it was.
Yeah, like I'm sure Neil Gaiman didn't think his Sandman was as edgy as everyone else was placing it to be. Alan Moore probably thought Watchmen was because he's Alan Moore, but certainly not Neil Gaiman or Grant Morrison or any of those kinds of writers.
Hmm.
Plus, I think when you turn 15, um you're a little bit more grown up than you are when you're 13. I think 13, you're still like, even though you're entering your teenage years, you're still very much a kid. And I think at 15, you're heading much more towards being an adult, and you're a little bit more mature. Like you
What's
said,
the drinking age in Australia?
18.
Okay, that's what it is here too.
Okay, that's what it should be.
I don't know. I think it should probably be 16.
Well,
maybe. I don't know. What's Well, I mean, the thing is, everybody drinks when they're that age anyway.
yeah, exactly. But
I didn't.
Uh,
I
oh,
didn't drink
really?
it. I may have had a drink, but not drinking over here is drinking more than one drink. So
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, that's true. Um, it's really inconsistent here because you can go to war and be drafted and elect your leaders at 18, but you can't drink until you're 21.
and you can drive, and you can legally drive a car with a license as well.
Yeah, you can get a license, you can drive, you can smoke, you can join the military and kill people, you can vote for your leaders, and you can even run for office, but you can't drink. That's a no-no.
Yeah, well, I honestly think all that stuff should be, lowered down to 16 because it doesn't make sense to me that you can have a job when you're 16, you can drive a car when you're 16, but you can't participate in society politically.
That's true.
Mm.
Well, I think at least like voting and stuff like that, maybe that should stay 18 because I don't even think 18 is mature enough to understand certain things.
Mm.
And that's not true of everyone. Um, but I think like 16-year-olds just inherently wouldn't make the best decision makers because there's still so much more experience to get in.
I
That's
think
maybe fair, but I think there are plenty of people who are well older than 16 who are as ignorant of politics and are as bad decision makers. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
it
exactly.
balances out across the board. Because I think the people who are like that when they're 16 are typically the people who end up being like that when they're adults as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're exactly right. But I mean, I was a totally different person when I was 15 or 16, and I didn't have any of the same views as I do now. Like I was one of the really dumb 16-year-olds that sat there and played video games all day and stuff.
I think the other reason you don't want people drinking at 16 is mainly for health reasons.
Well, I mean, if you care about your health, you won't really at all. But
Well, yeah,
my issue is like I don't genuinely think like if you want to drink, you're gonna drink.
Yeah,
mm,
So it's happening anyway, I guess is my point.
and
yeah,
to that extent, I think what would go a long way is to not hide the fact that there's sex and there's alcohol and there's drugs in society until you reach a certain age.
Hmm.
Because so much of like education when you're younger is about never drink and never do drugs and never do this and that. Um, but there's no reason to censor reality because if you teach them at an early age what drinking is and what voting is and what drugs are, they're less likely to do it because
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
how they build an idea of it.
Hmm.
I don't know what the deal is over where you guys are, but when I entered I think it was 8th grade, I was given a very deep and much more um, detailed sex education than what I understand America gets, at least, because it's just um, it was
Yeah,
very
because there's a lot of I hear in the States there's a lot of like abstinence only
yeah.
people
That's what
and
I was
stuff, and like that's just stupid.
Yeah.
yeah. We were taught uh, all about all the um, protection that that there was out there at the time. Everything.
No. I
How
know we got
how
educated on everything from anatomy to protection to showing graphic pictures of genital warts and
oh well.
just across the board. Like, yeah, it was pretty detailed.
Well, I guess to a certain extent you do need that. I read recently there was a school that offered all of the boys and girls protection and drugs for sex at like age 15, and their teen birth rates and suicide rate dropped by like 40%.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be the case.
Yeah, and just the overall state of living and stuff there increased too.
Yeah. I read that somewhere too. I think they were comparing Texas to somewhere else.
Well, Texas is crazy. So comparing anything, that's gonna look good.
Yeah. People
Um,
fail to realize that teens are going to have sex.
yeah, it's in their anatomy. You can't force them to not think about it.
Hmm. Well, and
Um,
there's nothing wrong with them doing it either.
no, there's not. As long as you teach them or make them understand what it is, there's no reason to worry about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, because if you don't know, then you don't know.
Yeah, like there's no reason to shield people from it until a certain age.
Yeah.
Like, what does a 17-year-old have about learning about sex and drugs that a 12-year-old can't have, provided you give them the right education?
Hmm.
Um, there's like another video discussion in here somewhere. I know it.
Yeah.
But it is getting kind of late, and I've got class in the morning, and we've been doing like a test for 4 hours.
Yeah, that was not intentional. But,
I think it's
yeah,
sufficient to say that our test worked.
Yeah.
yeah, the actual video won't be this long. Yeah,
Okay.
um, at least not intentionally, so, okay.
Well, we know that it will work for that long then. So
Okay.
test succeeded.
Yeah, so you happy to begin at 8 o'clock, I think it is your time, Alex, if not.
Yeah. What day are we doing it? Sunday? Monday?
Uh,
Monday, right?
Monday, you guys.
Monday. Yeah. Monday us. Tuesday.
Okay,
Me.
that sounds good. I think.
Yep. That'll work.
All right.
Um,
Yeah, if anyone who's still watching it says you're a viewer, but that doesn't mean anything. And anyone that watches this later, thanks for watching. We'll be back Monday at 8 o'clock US time. What, Central or
Eastern.
Eastern.
Eastern? Uh, and Tuesday at about 9 o'clock. Um,
Cool.
yeah. All right. Bye.